Hey everyone, your host Nick here, and you're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com. First, I want to remind you that we are a fully independent podcast, quite literally just a group of friends who have met once a week since 2008 to talk about video games. If you like our show, the best thing you can do for us is be active in our community. I recommend Discord. You can subscribe to our show, leave us a review on your preferred podcast service, or, if you're so inclined, bless us with your patronage on Patreon or Twitch. If you're new, all you need to know is this. We record these shows live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central on Twitch, and the audio version launches on all podcast services on Friday morning. Patreon and Twitch supporters will even get the show a day early on Thursdays. But if you want to know more about any of this, about what we do, or find all the important links you need, simply visit us at 4playernetwork.com. And that's it. This is the only ad you'll ever hear on this show. So, with that said, thank you for listening. Let's get started. Perfect. Hey everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 797. It is June... Actually, I don't even know what day it is. What day is this? June 5th?
Don't fucking matter.
I know what day it is. It's June 5th, 2024. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined tonight by Brad Simons. Nolan Hedstrom.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And Christopher Davis.
Good evening. It's going to be a good show.
Chris Davis has had some wild faith in this particular episode all week. So
I got a little bone to pick with this man, but we'll get to it later.
There will be plenty of time to pick bones in a little bit. I just want to give everybody kind of a rundown. First of all, if you're watching us live, thank you for tuning in. We didn't end up recording last night on Tuesday, which is our normal night, so it's Wednesday and we're recording. But we appreciate everyone who could show up. It is Key 3 week, if you will. It's Summer Game Fest coming up. So in the first segment here, we're going to kind of recap some of the stuff that happened last week, specifically the highlights from the PlayStation State of Play and the Silent Hill transmission. And then Chris Davis is going to lead us through. We kind of did this last year, right? Didn't we?
Okay, that was my bone to pick. This
right,
man's like, y'all, I got a brilliant idea. How about I come up with a list of games and y'all say if y'all think it's going to be at the showcase or not, and we like score it. It's like, isn't this such a cool, fresh idea that no one's ever thought of before? Easy Allies does something like that, which is not only what I did last year, but I also attributed it to stealing it from Easy Allies. So I don't know. Chris Davis has been doing heavy drugs since then, but it doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Brad, I have slept over 365 times since we did that. You can't expect me to remember everything.
I know, but like here's my argument against that, Chris Davis, is I have a notoriously bad memory, and I remember that. So I don't know what's up.
I'm pretty sure Carlos won as well.
But here's the deal. We're gonna do it again. So, and this time Chris Davis is going to lead the charge. So I don't know what's going to happen. Chris Davis
is going to dumb wagers like you can earn $1 or $50 if Final Fantasy 17's announced.
No, that's not what I said. All I suggested was that
no. That was
whoever
what I
wins
did last year. You had
would get
you don't remember.
would get 3 points on Fantasy Critic. And y'all shut me down.
That's another conversation, and I shot that down like we all shot it down last year.
We did. That's neither here nor there. The point is, it's Key 3. Summer Game Fest is happening this week, starting on Friday with Jeff Keighley's big 2-hour presentation thing, right? So we're going to talk about that. And then, of course, we have the Xbox Showcase coming up. We have the Ubisoft Forward coming up. We have some indie showcases coming up. And here's what I want to stress. And this is kind of, we do a lot of this stuff kind of off the cuff here. I know Chris Davis has prepared some stuff, but I want to squeeze all of this into the first segment. I don't want this to boil over into the second segment if we can avoid
like lightning round, kind of.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I want to keep it kind of flowing smoothly here, and we got a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of exciting stuff to potentially talk about. So we're going to do that in the second segment. We're going to talk a little bit about Nine Souls, which Nolan, I think you've started. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So Nolan and I have been playing Nine Souls. We'll talk about that. I know we have Brad's been playing Minishoot Adventures.
Yeah, I think we might even do that one first.
Well, now that you've backed me into a corner, I guess we have to.
I'd rather do Nine Souls first. I'd like to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know how it goes. I'm just kidding around. I know my place. I know my games
Brad,
is
I'm just saying at
place.
any point in time, I might have to leave because there's a tornado at my house. So if
No,
I
I
could talk
know.
about 9 Souls before that happens, that would be beneficial.
But
Actually, in
but we
fact,
got you here to talk about Concord.
okay,
Go.
real quick. I was trying to keep this kind of segmented out into like, key three stuff and then impressions in the segment. But Nolan has a really good point. Nolan has a tornado bearing down in his house at any minute, and maybe we should just get the Nine Souls impressions out of the way now.
I would not be opposed to that.
Okay, let's do that. So that Nolan has a chance to talk about it. I know that we're going a little off script here. It's not going to be nearly as organized as I would have liked. So we'll get to that in just a second. I just want to. Oh, he's starting the footage now. Oh shit.
Yes.
Just real quick.
We ain't got
Nolan,
time.
as Nolan said, there's some bad weather, so there's a chance he might have to bounce very quickly, and we'll see how that goes. But guys, just want to remind you we have a big week coming up in the games industry, so we'll have a lot of news and stuff coming up in the week. So if you want to hang out and talk about that stuff with us, we'd love to have you in our Discord at discord.gg/4player. So just keep that in mind. But now let's do it. Let's talk about Nine Souls. Nolan, do you want to set this up?
I can, I guess.
Yeah.
Before
Nine
he gets
Souls.
into the game specifically, I just want to say this is from the developers of Detention and Devotion. Devotion, I think we've talked about on this podcast multiple times. Interesting Taiwanese developer who was kind of blacklisted
In China.
from selling their game for a long time. Not from China, on Steam. Like not only were they not allowed to sell their game on Steam, GOG was like, oh, hey, we're going to be selling Nine Souls over here since you can't buy it on Steam. And a week later, they were like, actually, we're not going to be selling this game. We've been informed that y'all don't want us to sell this game. So there was definitely some maybe pressure from certain places.
Well, that wasn't Nine Souls. That was Detention, wasn't it?
No, that was Devotion. Devotion.
Devotion, yeah.
There's a controversial past with them making fun of a certain leader of a very large nation. But yeah, I'm glad that they've seemed to have recovered from not being able to
What
sell
about
games
Winnie
at
the
all
Pooh?
to making out a sick ass game like Nine Souls. Take it away, Nolan.
Sure. Nine Souls, the hit new Souls-like indie Metroidvania game.
Metroidvania as fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Souls Troidvania.
Just came out. Nick and like Nick said, he and I have been playing it. I don't know how far you are, Nick.
I am about 15 hours in or so.
Okay.
I mean, it's a game called Nine Souls, which kind of, without going into the specifics of like the story or anything, the goal of the game is to kind of defeat basically nine bosses, nine souls or so. So I've gone through,
not SOUL.
yeah, SOLS, like celestial souls. And I have defeated 3 of them in about 15 hours, which I don't think is necessarily, I wouldn't say that's because of difficulty. I'm saying this game is just pretty large and there's a lot of stuff to do.
It's definitely a big game. I will say that I'm not anywhere near as far. I just started playing it yesterday. So I'm about 2.5 hours in, and I am at, I believe, the first soul.
Have you fought like a dude on a bridge with like a big? He looks like a horse with a spear, kind of dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Young Zhao.
I don't know any of their names.
Like his name is something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, that is who I am currently fighting. Right, young. It's something like that.
It's first major boss.
Ying Zhao. But yeah, yes, I fought him maybe 3 or 4 times so far. I've not defeated him yet.
I will say, out of all the bosses I've fought, he is the one. Brad, I know you were talking a little bit in Discord about like difficulty of bosses and whatnot.
I'm concerned about boss difficulty because I've heard a lot of people talking about this game, talking about hard bosses.
That's the boss that I got stuck on for more than an hour. But I will tell you this.
Yeah, but you also said you're 3 bosses in, and now I'm getting a little worried again.
Okay, so hold on. Here's what I'll say about that, Brad. So first off, I think it is Souls-like in the sense that if you approach enemies, specifically bosses, hastily or without, taking a breather, taking a step back, it's very easy to die. I think if you spend a little bit of time not trying to get in those extra few hits, but literally just getting in ahead. don't you have a 3-hit combo as one of your main things. The third hit of your combo does more damage, so it is enticing to get in that third hit, but you can't always get it in between some of their attacks. And so it's one of those things where I have found, let's say, I think I fought the boss like 4 or 5 times now. The first 2 times, I honestly probably more than 4 or 5, maybe like not even 10, but the first like 2 or 3 times I died within like 20 seconds. Yeah, because it is,
Are the checkpoints like close to the bosses?
Oh
They
yeah.
usually have
Okay.
like bonfires, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
At least there's that. I
Uh,
mean, the
pretty
Hollow Knight
close.
bosses can be bastards.
And
So-
this is a
so-
game. This is a game with lots of shortcuts. Like finding shortcuts is like, oh yeah, okay.
I do
So-
love that, but like specifically, so I never finished Sekiro because honestly, I just wasn't having fun at some point because they were uncompromisingly difficult, and you pretty much have to like it's a parry game, right? And I know this is like that as well,
This
right?
is a
Where
parry game.
if you
This is
don't
very
get
much
the
a parry.
pattern recognition mastered, so you can parry these bosses, you're just not gonna be like you can't go build around the boss fight, right? Like you can in maybe say Elden Ring, right? You have
Well,
to.
it does the thing that
meet it
Hollow
at-
Knight does, where it gives you like nodes that you can like swap in and out.
Oh, so
like
you do
the
have some build
seals.
customization.
Yes, like the seals from Hollow Knight. They are in this. They're nodes. And as of the first boss, I think I only have like maybe 3 or 4. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I've been to a couple of shops where I've had the opportunity to buy a bunch of them. I just haven't decided if ones I want to spend my Jin, the currency on.
Yeah.
And so yes, I am fairly certain that there is going to be points later on where I'm going to want to build around certain bosses. I know there are nodes that allow you to heal faster. So you're where you stop and heal yourself. It obviously it takes a second to do that. There are ones that make that process faster. There are ones that
They're
kind
very
of
Hollow Knight.
oh no, it is very Hollow Knight for sure.
Then, right?
But yeah,
Like
so anyway, so
'cause that's
I'm just
specifically the kind of thing you were building.
yeah, and so just thinking about that first boss, I've like I said, the first few times I died very quickly, but then I'm like, hold on, let me take a step back. I realize now that when he does his backup sweep attack, it does not flow smoothly. He sweeps and then goes real quick, and so you have to once you kind of start realizing, oh, this is his patterns and doing this. Now, I don't spoilers. He has 2 phases.
Okay, I was about to be like, Nolan, can I burst a bubble because I
Yeah,
wasn't sure if you've done that yet.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and
It's a first boss with 2 phases.
yeah, and there's no indication of that until you defeat him and then realize like, oh
I
shit,
had that
that was
moment.
phase 1.
I had that moment where I was like, yes, and then I was like immediately like, what? No.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
this the robot
was
last
like-
night?
No. That's like the 3rd boss. That I did
Okay.
I gotta
last
be
night.
honest with
I
you
was gonna
guys.
say, like-
What's happening?
Mhm.
We're talking about bosses here.
Well, you were
so the
specifically
reason I
voicing
wanted to
some
say
concerns.
the reason I wanted to say that, Brad, was to Nick's point. I know you had mentioned like you that was one of your concerns with the game when we were talking about it in Discord at discord.gg/4player, that you were worried that you might get stuck on a boss and not really want to proceed. But what I was essentially saying was I had that feeling of, oh, I beat this boss on the 4th try. Oh crap! There's another phase. The second phase is definitely a little more difficult than the first. His attacks are a little quicker, and whatnot. But I feel like I am starting to get it down. And similar to a Souls game, I would say, I don't want to say like less Sekiro, but similar in my opinion to a Souls game. Every time I get hit or I die, I know why. I'm like, yeah, I fucked up. I was being a little too aggressive.
Greedy.
I got greedy. I, put up my parry or my block way too early. Like I am very much aware of my failings. And so I do feel like, I can probably defeat this boss on the next 1 or 2 tries. That being said, as well, there's nothing to stop me from leaving, going around fighting a bunch of random enemies, collecting souls. As
Do
it
you
were.
feel like you could leave, maybe not get stronger, but like
Well, that's what I
I
was
guess
saying. So there is a
kinda
a system of when you defeat enemies, you slowly gather, and I don't know what the term is. I don't know if you know, Nick, like if it's souls or whatever.
I don't know what the term is.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a
2
meter, and
currencies
once
actually. Because
correct, yeah.
you
There's
get
like
money.
cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jin is what they call it, Jin. And then like the currency, the souls, whatever you want to call them, like I said, there might be a name, I just don't remember what it is, that once that meter fills up, you now have 1 of that currency that you can spend on your skill tree.
And that you don't
Um,
lose that when you die. You only
correct, which
lose
is
so, like,
very nice.
it fills a meter, right? So every enemy you kill fills a meter, and if you get that meter to fully fill up, it gives you a skill point, and you can't lose that skill point. If you fill the meter up halfway again towards 2 and then die, you go back to 1, and that's what you're kind of recollecting.
But you can recover it like a Souls game.
Yeah, but like there's plenty of there's a lot of map to explore, and you can use that to find new nodes. You can use
there
that
a
to
healthy
find
amount
stuff
of challenge when you're exploring
Oh,
said map?
have you been watching what I've been doing in this footage? There's no
Yeah, it
boss in this footage.
looks pretty nasty, which
This
is
part's
good. See,
pretty
that's what I
brutal.
like. I like. It's not that I don't like hard games,
Right.
or even hard combat. It's that I like hard combat scenarios, encounter design, like level design. I just don't like getting stuck on a boss for like Sekiro. I feel like half the time you're in bosses. Um,
So one last thing I'll maybe say about the boss, because this is the boss that Nolan is on. That first boss is kind of a wake up call. Like it took me a good solid hour to beat him. But it's a boss that specifically, it's like if you haven't been practicing the parry, this boss is what's going to get you up to where you need to be before you proceed. Because after you beat this boss, by the time I was getting really mad at that boss. Right when I finally defeated him, like both phases, it was a flawless victory. I didn't get hit once.
yeah,
But
but
like
that's just Sekiro.
but it took me an hour. But like every boss I've fought since then, I beat on my second or third try.
True, but you also
Nice.
said 3 bosses. I'm thinking of the post that Prince was making, where it's like, oh my god, the 7th boss is just nightmare. Like I'm worried. I'm worried about the future bosses. But
The
I get
the
it.
the, the three
We'll get
bosses
there.
I've fought
So
since that first one haven't
there
been
are
nearly as bad.
we started this conversation in Discord when I heard that this game had difficulty options, and I was like,
Right.
well, maybe if I turn down the difficulty, it would just be a fun Metroidvania, and I'm not stuck on every fucking boss. Like I don't even know how much easier it is. But
If you're
then I was
worried
doing a
about it,
little
do
more
it.
research, and I heard that there are like there's a story mode like menu where you can adjust sliders or something. Or like some toggles like outside of just that most basic difficulty. I don't own the game yet, so but I mean I was always planning on playing, and I really like
I
Red
haven't
Candle Games,
really
but I'm a little I just want to know
I haven't really dug into
now
that
before I start.
menu yet, or even if I know what that
I
menu
think the only
is.
way you
I,
can
I
see
heard there's
that
like,
is if you choose story mode, because when you
is
choose
it not something
standard,
you
there's
can
no.
change difficulty settings as you play
I
or
don't
anything
think
like that?
so, but
To my
honestly, I haven't
knowledge,
tried.
no.
So you can
Yeah,
get to a boss and then say fuck this and turn it down.
I
I gotta
don't
look at
know.
those options. I gotta look at those options.
I will
But
maybe check during the break. I'll like boot it up and see if I
yeah,
can find it.
because I'm kind of curious because I've come to like realize I know what I like in games, and I know where I don't want to get stuck in games, and I
Right.
like hard games. If it's an RPG, a strategy game, give me the hardest setting I can find, right? But look, I just don't love Sekiro, and I don't love bosses. I don't. A lot of people play Souls
Brent,
games for bosses. Not me. Not me.
Brad,
It,
Brad. Prince says you can change it to story mode anytime.
Okay,
Perfect.
there we go.
Perfect,
Boom, boom.
perfect. So how's the story? I heard so this is a
Story's pretty
developer
cool.
that makes horror story games. I played the demo for this and I was like, "Oh, this got some pretty good vibes." How's that?
It's
So
pretty
what
cool.
I will say is being, just under 3 hours in, honestly, like at least a third, if not half of what I played so far has been story. There's a decent amount of story to this game kind of in between areas, what is what is it called, exposition, like
Yeah.
exposition dumps of like here's a little more information about the past, and they handle it in a very graceful way. I really really like the art style, the aesthetic, the music, the sound design.
It's got a
Like,
vibe. It's got a
yeah,
nice vibe.
this is definitely like the same vibe of like when Hollow Knight came out. Like it very much has that feeling of it's just pleasant to interact with this game.
So you know how Hollow Knight very much kind of like the way it tells its story is very reminiscent of Dark Souls, and that everything is kind of like mysterious and obtuse in a way, but like that's part of the appeal. This doesn't quite. I agree with Nolan's comparison to Hollow Knight, just in terms of like the full package and how it died, but it tells its story in a very different way because like
Mhm.
the draw of the story in this game, like because it actually has like characters with names and dialogue and they talk and like the main character here is like basically, as far as I can tell, is like he's a member of a civilization on a different planet, or whatever, and he forms a relationship with this young human kid, and that's kind of the crux of like it's basically these two people of different species of different ages becoming friends and
Different
like
beliefs too.
yeah different belief systems, and he's like trying to explain his belief system, the other one's like, and the kid just has this very much like aloof kind of like, well, that's a weird
Mhm.
way to look at things, and like they just spend a lot of their time talking about their different civilizations, and it's actually a really cute relationship to kind of see blossom, and I really like that stuff. And then there's also this like backstory where like you don't really know what happened to Yi, the main character, that led him to on this like quest to kill all these dudes. But you're getting they're trickling out like breadcrumbs to
Yeah,
kind of
like
like
you will literally have like flashbacks of like story from like Yee's like childhood, even like
yeah,
past like
and all that
interactions
stuff's
and stuff
good.
like that. Mhm.
It's
Oh,
good. I
dude,
like it.
so I could definitely understand someone who maybe is having a lot of difficulties with the gameplay, just doing this in story mode. I understand why the story mode is there because they think it honestly. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say Hollow Knight couldn't use a story mode, but I mean, like, what story is there? Kind of in Hollow Knight,
Yeah,
it's one
Well,
of
it's just
those
kind
things.
of like
it's a
the
different kind of story.
Soulsian
Well, that's what I'm
story.
saying. Whereas this actually has, so far, like I said, only 3 hours in, but so far it has a pretty decent story, and I could understand someone wanting to play this for the story.
Yeah, and 15 hours in, it hasn't shown any sign of getting less interesting. In fact, if anything, it just keeps getting more and more enticing. So I'm really like this game. This game has me like hook, line, and sinker. I'm in.
Mhm.
Um, it's funny. Like we've been talking because so Nolan, you drafted this for
Mhm.
Fantasy Critic, and we've been kind of like waiting for like all week. Like, why are the reviews not here? First of all, I don't think they sent review codes out ahead of the game's release, which for whatever reason. So like at this point, it only has like 4 reviews, but it's finally charted, and it's doing well. I think it's like an 85 right now or something. But like I think it's
I
because
think
like
the
this is a
developer said this
challenge.
pre-sell. So okay. Do you think this game has the opportunity to blow up? I mean, do you think like word of mouth so like that's the thing with Hollow Knight, word of mouth. When
Oh, it
that
was
thing
all
came
word of
out, it
mouth.
came out
Yeah.
like the worst timing ever, right?
Hmm.
It came out around like Breath of the Wild, Horizon. It was
Dude,
like March when the Switch came out.
when I was streaming Hollow Knight, the fucking like some of the lead people for Team Cherry were in our chat, just because
Yeah.
there were so few people who even knew about the game. That the fact
People,
that I'm not saying we're not popular streamers, but the fact
well,
that they were in our stream because no one else was like streaming the game.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes, it was a very like just quiet launch. What I will say is I was kind of curious about that for this game. And so I went to Steam and I was like, I want to try to find Nine Souls without typing in Nine Souls. And it was kind of hard to find.
Oh, so you went through
Yes,
like the lists of like recent
Yeah, I was
releases and
like,
that kind of
oh,
stuff.
show me new releases. Couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, okay, well, show me new indie releases. Couldn't find it. I'm like, okay, well, show me new
yeah.
like
I'd be a little
roguelike
worried
didn't seem.
about Steam and
You sent me a
Yeah.
Valve
thing with
and
the
the
concurrent
Chinese
players.
government.
Mhm.
You sent me a thing with
Yeah.
like concurrent players, right? Compared to like some of the more recent Metroidvanias that were like Zhao, I think
No,
was
no,
one
no,
of
no.
them.
It's doing really well. There's already like over 2,000 reviews. Like this is a slow starter, but I think this thing's really gonna like pick up pace. I mean, like Hollow Knight. Like Hollow Knight is now one of the best selling indie games of all time. There's over 300,000 reviews for Hollow Knight on Steam. A game
Jesus.
that no one paid attention to now has over 250,000 reviews. That's insane.
I see a lot of
Um,
people
I don't
like
even think there's a
on
Souls game that has that many reviews.
I think I see a lot of people on social media, like especially like critics and whatnot, who are just like slowly starting to talk more and more Patrick Klepek recently was like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna be screaming at people to play this game for the rest of the year, and I was like, that might be the case, but I do think it's gonna build momentum. But I also think we live in a time where everybody's just like obsessed with waiting for Silksong, which understandably so, and it's kind of like if it's a Metroidvania and it's not Silksong, suddenly it's like an uphill battle trying to get people interested in it, even though it's not. It shouldn't necessarily be that way. But if you're waiting for something like Silksong and you want something that's like deep and like enticing with a really cool art style and a really cool story, because that's what people want from Silksong, this is absolutely something you should pick up and play. I feel this feels like something I'm going to be talking about for the rest of the year.
I mean,
Potentially.
Sekiro has 200,000 reviews. This is just indie Sekiro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, Hollow Knight, but
yeah. But yeah, no, Nine Souls. Nolan and I are both still playing it, so neither one of us can attest to like what it's like in the end game or whatnot. But pretty cool fucking game.
Currently, yeah, like to Brad's point, I just kind of looked up as well. There's 2,300 people playing it, an all-time peak of 6,500, which is not horrible.
That's not
that's
bad.
really good. That's really good.
Especially with the game only having been out for so long. Currently, that puts it at the 244th, game on Steam with active players. But I mean, that being said, for an indie game that has had fairly little marketing around it, and like I said, I would also maybe recommend other people similar to what I did, just go to Steam and kind of try to click around and find Nine Souls. It's kind of difficult. Like, I don't know if there's a way they could like throw Steam a couple bucks and be like, hey, can y'all like show our game to somebody?
Yeah,
because I'm looking at like new and trending and like, Field of Glory Kingdoms has 41 reviews and it is positive, and that's on there, but Nine Souls isn't.
I could see this popping up and rising to the top a little bit later with like a sale or something.
Yeah.
But who knows? Mr. Papa Shot
Brad,
in chat
just
says
FYI,
Hellblade
Field
2
of Glory
kills.
Kingdoms, 163 concurrent players.
Oof.
Sure. I just don't think Valve is gonna front page a controversial developer like this.
I guess so.
You think that's still what's haunting them?
Dude,
I guess probably.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Very good chance of that, yeah.
There's a very good chance of that, right?
You think that maybe that's what's holding reviews back too, some?
Valve didn't sell Red Candle games, they didn't sell Devotion on there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, when does Valve give a shit what they sell, right? Like, they had some real legitimate pressure, I'm imagining, right? We've seen it many times with many large organizations.
Well, let me just say, I just want to say it is so cool to see a studio like Red Candle who makes, like you said, Detention and what's the other one? Detention and Devotion. They both start with D, so I always forget. Oh,
yeah. Detention is cool. They made a movie based on Detention. On the indie game, horror game Detention, they made a movie based on it.
I had no idea.
Crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I thought, well, surely the game was based on the movie, but then I found out that the movie came after the game, and I was like, that shit's wild. Tornado took Nick. Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
My headphones. It happens once every podcast. My fucking headphones die in the middle of it. I'm going to get
But they're still great headphones.
I love these headphones. But they just
killing me, man. I hate those headphones, and they're not even mine.
Okay, yeah, so sorry. What I was trying to get out before I got rudely interrupted by my stupid headphones was that it's so cool to see a studio that made games like Devotion and Detention turn around and make a game like this that is not only just a complete genre shift, but like a really fucking competent genre.
Gorgeous.
Like it's gorgeous. It's one of the best, smoothest playing Metroidvanias. Like I feel like it's to me this feels like it's up there with Hollow Knight in terms of 2D Metroidvanias. Like it's pretty spectacular. Like it's wild.
You gotta finish it, man. Hollow Knight.
I do gotta finish it. Hollow Knight. I mean, Brad,
people were also saying this about Hollow Knight, like 2 hours into the game too.
And that's not to discredit. Like I said, like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It was an incredible feeling Metroidvania that came out this year, and I still think it's one of the best games that I've played this year. But it's fucking ugly. I'm just kidding.
It's so unfortunate that it's hideous.
I mean, you said it, not me. But anyways, yeah, 9 souls, pretty fucking cool. Um, you know, and since we've veered off the original plan for the night, why don't we just go ahead and pass it over to Brad to talk about his game, and
Yeah,
then we'll
my
do
game
all the
won't take
we'll do the Summer Game
won't take
Fest
so
in the
long.
second segment.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
my
just
game won't take so long.
as an FYI, I'm trying to.
Uh-huh.
When was the release date
Of
of Hollow Knight?
oh
2017.
god,
Release date was February 24th, 2017. They didn't hit 6,000 players until June of 2017.
Wow.
so there's still time. There's
Nine
still
Souls has
time.
already hit 6,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, that being said, also
Hollow Knight's
Hollow Knight's
like Steam boom probably came after the Switch boom that didn't even come out till the following year.
Yeah, and that's what Prince was saying in chat. That yeah, if you look at it, yeah, 2018, yes, a huge jump in players. In 2018, 10,000 concurrent players. In August of 2018. So yeah, that tracks. But yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
then I guess anything could happen.
Yeah.
I've been playing a fun little I don't know, indie game.
Do it.
This is a game that came out earlier this year. I heard some people talking about it. I think it was one of those games. It was like very early on in the year. People were like, "What the fuck is Minishoot Adventures? And why is that got like a fucking high 80s on Open Critic, right?" Because of Fantasy Critic, we're always like, paying attention to the scores, and we've come to realize that like a indie game just scoring really well is just really hard sometimes. It feels impossible. And this
It
one with
does.
multiple reviews stayed in the high 80s, and then it became, wait, what is this shit? And then I started hearing people talking about it, and I'm like, whatnot. So I was like, fuck it, I'll circle back to it. It feels like a good.
This looks like a bullet hell mixed with a Zelda.
But well, Nick set it up for us.
I'm just commenting what it looks like. I don't know what it actually
No,
is.
I mean that's exactly what it is. This is a Zelda game, shoot 'em up. So like one of like my oldest fucking takes, like since I started podcasting with David in 2007, I've been saying it since before that, since before I had a microphone in my face, was that I always love the idea of shoot 'em ups because they feel good, because like the different types of like fire and spread shots, and I just love the feel and look of bullet hell games. We didn't call them bullet hell games back then. Shoot 'em up games.
Why didn't you
was
play
great,
Returnal, bitch?
but I hate what I always hated about the genre is that it seems so locked to its arcade roots, right? Meaning that they're very like arcadey, like balls difficult. They were designed to steal your coins, right? They were arcade games designed to steal your coins, so they're super hard. There's 5 fucking levels, and the game's fucking impossible. And you play it over and over and over again until you memorize every single pattern until you finally beat the game. That's that genre, and like there's the genre for a very, I mean, it's just one of those genres that just kind of stayed comfortable being like a very arcadey. While most genres kind of, when they moved to consoles, became something besides just a coin, muncher, right? And I always hated that, right? Because I've argued about like I hate how these games have lives, and you run out of lives and continues, and you start the whole fucking thing over. But I love everything else about shoot 'em ups. And ever since then, I was like, oh, I want something that's like a shoot 'em up, but something more like a RPG or whatever. And I've since then, there's been stuff like that, but this is one that I heard was super good. So I was like, fuck, I like Zelda, and I want shoot 'em ups to be something more than just a goddamn arcade game. And so we have Minishoot Adventures, which is, yeah, it's a Zelda. You're exploring a world. There's dungeons. You're figuring out how to get to the dungeons. You're leveling up your character, which I guess is not something you like explicitly do in
What's
Zelda, right?
weird is that like it looks like a top-down Zelda game with like complete with like the trees and the bushes and everything, but it looks like you're still piloting like a little tiny ship.
You are piloting a little tiny ship. In fact, all the NPCs are just ships. No one really talks in this game. I don't think there's any fucking words in this game. Everything is just like icons and stuff, like I unlocked an NPC. He didn't say anything to me, but he appeared back at like the main hub area, and he had like a little bubble over himself that looked like a new gun, and with a gem and a times 30. And I was like, oh, I guess I give him 30 of these red gems and I get a new gun. And sure enough, that's what it was. And there's no words there. It was just, this is a very like no nonsense. You want to just pick up a game and just play it, not worry about fucking tutorials and people fucking talking and walk and talks and shit. This is a game that just goes. And it it's I think it's better for it. This is like super easy to pick up and play, super fun. It feels good. I mean, obviously the visually it's like relatively simple, you know, coming after Nine Souls is a little unfair, but don't let that fool you. Like it's simple, but it's very like everything is very clear and bright and colorful, which I think is good in a bullet hell game, because you get into some of the crazier like Japanese style like bullet hell games and it's like, what the fuck am I looking at? How am I ever supposed to parse like what I'm supposed to dodge here, because it's just insane. Like it's all
Yeah.
over the screen, just insane. Here, it's bright, colorful. You know, it's really easy to see what you got to dodge, and it feels good. It feels good to play, and because shoot 'em ups feel good to play, and and you would think, well, you know, boss variety, enemy variety, how do you really mix it up if everything's just a ship kind of shooting a bunch of shit at you? But they managed to like, you know, with the AI of the different enemies, it's kind of like a Geometry Wars, right? You know, coming across different enemies in Geometry Wars, they just kind of have different like behaviors and patterns and just things to kind of keep you on your toes. And I'm consistently surprised by how much this game is. You know, it's not the deepest game in the world, but it is mixing it up enough to like stay fresh and just to keep everything, you know, surprising, but like moving forward. Like this, I can't stress enough. Like this is a very addictive game that, you know, it's probably only what 10 hours long, you know, depending if you're trying to like get everything right. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Um, but like it's like it feels good. It feels lean. It feels lean and it feels fun
Lean.
and it feels
Yeah.
addictive. And like I understand the scores that it's getting now, because you know what, every indie game on the planet gets an 82. So why is this one getting an 88? Why is that fair? And I get it now. It's because sometimes lean is better. I think it's why Balatro scored as high as it did, because it doesn't have any bullshit weighing it down or pissing anyone off. This is just a well-made game with like good world design. Like the power-ups feel good. It's like super easy to like refund all your points instantly. In fact, so much so that you know, depending on like the boss I'm fighting, where this one is like kind of hard to stay close to. So I drop some like points out of like movement speed or bullet speed and pump them all into range so I can stay a little further away. Or you come across races in the world and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm going to drop all my points in power, put all my points into speed, movement speed, and my boost speed so I can win this race, you know. And it's so easy to do that in the games. Like, sure, fuck it. Like they're, you know, and they expect you to do that, and it's good, man. Like this is the perfect Steam Deck Switch. I don't know what's on. Maybe it's only on Steam right now. Steam Deck palette cleanser. You know, we've had so many long RPGs this year. You know,
It's been a wild year for long,
indie games that
long
are like
games.
hard, like Nine Souls, or you have to think too damn much, like Laser Eyes or Animal Well. Just it seems like every game this year requires either a lot of time or a lot of brain power or both, a lot of dedication. And this one just seems like the one you know, you pick this up, and when you're pissed off when you while playing that Elden Ring DLC, maybe turn on a little Minishoot Adventures and you're just gonna have a rootin' tootin'
A rootin'
blast.
tootin' blast.
Yeah, a few puns in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. So like you talk about like kind of just being able to like switch off and not and just kind of get right down to it. Like I believe you. I'm looking at this footage and it's giving me anxiety. Like I'm
Yeah,
watching.
dude.
I'm like go left, go right. No fuck. And you. Oh man.
No, but it feels good. It's not too difficult. And there are difficulty settings if you want them. You can make it harder. You can make it easier. And you know, it's just good. Everything's clear. You know, like the map design. You unlock an NPC that'll like you go to him after you unlock a piece of the map, and he'll check off all of like the caves and secrets you find with a check mark if you found everything in that area. If you found everything in that
Ah
dungeon, he puts a
yes.
little check there. Makes it really easy to track everything if you're
Animal
trying to
Well
get
could use that.
100%. And I feel like a Metroidvania slash Zelda game. I mean, really, Zelda is kind of a Metroid style game that makes tracking really nice and breezy and easy. Like that's gonna be what gets people to like 100% a game, not just
Mhm.
you know how good the game is. Like make that stuff that quality of life really good. And man, yeah, I'll go all in. I'll 100% this game. I can already feel it. It's nice. I recommend it. I recommend it to anybody here. If it's really fun, breezy.
Minishoot Adventures.
You look at it and it looks like, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, this looks slight, right?
No,
But
my first thought was it looks like
trust,
Zelda.
it's charming, and yeah, but I know, but there's a lot of indie Zelda clones that are
True.
kind of slight. They are kind of slight. They're about 5 hours. They have a few good ideas. Not much new here. This a lot of this is being carried by the fact that like sometimes like when a shoot 'em up is good, it's good, and like it feels like the difficulty feels good, the balance feels good. Like I'm dying on bosses like 3-4 times before I finally beat them, and that feels good. It just seems well tuned, polished, honed. I like it.
Very nice.
I'll probably finish it. In a few more sessions, and it's not the game that's probably going to be in my top 5 of the year, and that's fine. But like, not every game has to be a top 5
game
to
needs
be worth
to be.
playing.
Yeah.
Unless you're on Nick's list.
Unless
Nick's list, you have to be in the top 5 to be worth playing. But on everybody else's list,
knew that was coming.
On everybody else's list, it could be number 9 and still worth it.
Like Nick doesn't even make.
Nick's the one that
10s.
turned his number 9 spot into a statement. Okay, that's not on me.
My number 9. Why is it my number 9, not my number 10?
I don't know. It's
I'm
always
just
your
curious.
number 9 for some reason.
But like, give me an example. What? I don't even remember what number 9s have been.
I don't have to. You know what it is. And I can get inside your head. It's like,
please do.
It's the one right on the edge, but you want to put it on your list anyways because fuck everyone else. I'm making a statement here.
Wouldn't that be my number
you're looking
10?
at your list. No, listen. You get it on your list because you're like, fuck you. No one else. And people were making fun of me for liking this game. It's going on the list. It's bumping off my number 10. And then you look at your list and then you go, yeah, but let's move it to 9. I feel like that happens every year. I feel like the 10 and 9 swap is at the last second. Detroit become human, and
I feel compelled to like pull up my list now and look at my number 9s and be like, oh, you might be right. Be right.
Don't do it, Nick. Don't do it. Don't give me that power. I've already looked. That's not a good look.
I'm not exactly doubting you because there. Oh, 2022. My number 9, Steel Rising.
Yep.
That checks out.
One.
2023. My number 9 was Amnesia: The Bunker.
There you go. Boom.
But that was
not enough people play. Love me my horror games.
Man, but here we go. This one bucks the trend. Maybe. Yeah, it does. 2021. My number 9, Resident Evil Village.
What's number 10 that year?
Death's Door.
Boom. There you go.
You know what? I think I may regret. I think Death's Door should have been probably my number 9. You know what I mean? It probably should have been. I love that game. I still listen to the soundtrack for Death's Door every single fucking day at work. It is so good. But that's neither here nor there.
This feels like, man, the perfect Switch game, right? Like this. I mean, it's just a good handheld game.
And I also say
know what kind of psychopath plays this on their TV. I don't know.
On crazy. That note, we didn't really mention it. I'm not sure, but Nine Souls plays like a dream on the Steam Deck. Just saying. If you're wondering, like day it came out, booted it up on my Steam Deck, no additional patches necessary, just out of the box, played like a fucking dream on the Steam Deck.
I mean, it
so just
probably
thought
wasn't
I'd
like a demanding game.
No. But like you never really know. Sometimes you install a game you don't think is going to be super intensive, and then you play on the Steam Deck and it's chugging at like 4 frames per second or something, for whatever reason. But anyways, yeah, Nine Souls great on Steam Deck as well. So we've talked about 2 games great on handhelds. Just worth mentioning. Okay.
I'm playing a game that I'll talk about next week.
Okay.
But that it also might play pretty well on a handheld.
Okay, I was about to say I'm going to reach.
Also an indie game. I mean, let's be real here. What are we trying to say? Yeah, indie games they're good on handhelds.
That's true.
I guess I just meant this one's very pick up and play. But
Chris Davis, is the game that you're going to talk about next week an indie game?
It eventually got a publisher, but it started life as an indie game.
Wait,
okay,
indie game.
That makes it an indie game.
Is it Dave the Diver?
No.
Then it's an indie game.
That's the only criteria.
That's the only one.
I mean, yeah,
we're confused about.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, since we have a little bit of time left in the first segment, let's go ahead and get the stuff from last week out of the way, and then we'll focus on predictions for Summer Game Fest in the second segment. So this shouldn't take very long. I only wanted to kind of hit the high points from last week's PlayStation State of Play and the Silent Hill transmission, starting with PlayStation. And again, we've been doing something new here. We've been doing trailer talks together as a group from 8 to 8:30 before the podcast on Tuesday nights. So if you want to catch Trailer Talk live, tune in for the live podcast recordings at that time. But we screened a couple of these tonight before the show. But I wanted to make sure we get in here because PlayStation did their big. I don't know. I don't want to call it big, but they did a state of play. I don't know if this is going to be their major
No,
showcase
they
for
have
the
something
year or
else
not.
coming, I believe, because I mean, from what I understand, they're still trying to launch a pro version of their console this
Yeah,
year. So
yeah,
they gotta
yeah,
have something.
but I don't think
I'm sure they're gonna
that
start
will.
teasing stuff like Tsushima too, right? You know,
But I don't think that'll necessarily be this month with everything else. I think they're going to probably put some
no,
space
no.
between it.
I think there's rumors that it might not be till like September, which is crazy because it seems like it's getting pretty close to the holiday season. But um, if you think about it, the reason I think we're not seeing like a Tsushima 2 and stuff and like some of the bigger titles that they're probably working on is probably because when they reveal those, when they show those for the first time, they probably want it to be on pro hardware because it's going to look so much nicer. It
That's
doesn't make
probably true.
sense to even tease them now before the pro is out there.
I
Um,
went back and I was listening to last week's podcast a little bit, and I listened specifically to our kind of predictions for the state of play. And let me just say, we fucking nailed the timing. We said specifically, we recorded it on Tuesday night, and we are like, let's just say because at this time they hadn't announced the state of play yet. We didn't even know if it was happening.
Mhm.
And we said, what if they just announced the state of play tomorrow morning for Thursday? And that is exactly what fucking happened. So I just want to get that out there. But
yeah, because that's just how it is these days, right?
yeah,
As soon as people
it's
started like copying Nintendo's like little pre-recorded thing that you know, those turnarounds are super quick. Same thing's going to happen when Nintendo does something. We'll probably
yeah,
find out the day before, and you know,
right.
but hey, it's
But
fine.
anywho, I don't want to talk about every little thing because obviously there's a lot of stuff there that happens that we don't necessarily care a ton about. Some of these things we'll talk about in trailer talk that we don't cover here. I want to hit the big things,
Can I
right?
say broadly without naming anything specific about some of that stuff we're probably not going to mention? It feels like Sony is doubling down on like on uh on stuff like made in like China or Korea. Like because you know this trend, right? Of like Stellar Blade was pretty successful. It was the number one game that came out that year. I mean that month.
Yes, you mean this
And
year?
you know Genshin Impact, right? Huge. Lies of P was a Korean game that came out last year.
Right,
That
right,
like
right.
you know these are regions that only put out mobile games, right? And now they're putting out bigger games, and I feel like we're starting to see more of those. And I'm
Isn't
pretty
Black
sure a
Myth
couple.
Wukong kind of in the same situation as well?
Black Myth Wukong is absolutely one of those, right? That's a Chinese studio, and I'm pretty sure that a couple of the games here that like the Souls likes, you know, there's a couple of games here that look like Souls likes, you know, Neo likes, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Right.
Pretty sure none of those are actually developed in Japan, and it's curious. It's interesting to see like these games coming out of these regions where you didn't typically see this stuff before, and it's
Right
kind of
around a
exciting
time
because
where
honestly that stuff looks pretty good, and it's always that's always like the line, right? Like, what is this? I don't know what this studio is, but like, dude, I'll play this looks
and
really good.
it's all coming out right around a time when I'm competing for points by playing Japanese games. I think it's a
Yeah,
little
okay, well, get
suspect,
over
don't
it,
you
man.
think?
Like that, I don't know
Anyhow,
what it was, that Altara game, Legend of Altara, whatever the fuck,
yeah.
that looks pretty sick. But then the company puts out Antara, Ballad of Antara, puts out a statement like, by the way, this is free to play, and you're like, what? Okay, this is
Okay.
definitely not your typical Japanese studio. Free to play? That did not look like a free to play game. It looked like Elden Ring. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but I mean that's also I guess the world we live in now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
The
So right,
developer
it's
for this game, Tipsworks, is actually Chinese, Shanghai.
Hmm, hmm.
for all the Altara game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Cool.
mean, I feel like I can tell. You know, you put on a trailer, I feel like I can tell right away because again,
That's
a
racist.
no, well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
it's a studio I've never heard of, and they're putting out something that looks so good. I'm like, I feel like I would know who this was, right? Because before it's like, oh, is this some new Capcom game, right? Is this some
Right.
new like Namco game? And then it's some studio you've never heard of. You're like, oh, this is someone's got some money somewhere because this looks good. And
Yeah,
all I'm saying is there was a handful of those kind of games. Also that floating girl picture taking game. What the fuck was that? But it looked way too pretty for whatever the fuck that was, right?
Infinity
you know what I'm
Nikki?
talking about? Infinity Nikki, right? It was like beautiful, colorful game, right?
Yeah.
With photography, and I'm like, this looks nice. And then you look at the new like Mana game coming out, and you're like, why can't the new Mana game look like this? Whatever.
Anyways, let's hit some highlights here real quick. Again, some of this stuff we don't talk about tonight will come up at other places, but and this is not necessarily something that we're really that into. Maybe
No, you don't have to talk about Concord. I mean,
you want to mention it just for specifically for the fact that Sony is chasing a trend that's kind of been dying for the past few years, and now they're desperate.
Oh, you're talking about the hero shooter, but
Yeah.
Sony's been pushing games as a service for like the past year or two,
and I think they're starting to move away from
going to
it.
be their.
I think they're starting to move
thing.
away from it, but it's too late to pull the plug or like walk away from these things they've already put so much time and effort into. So like,
And they shut
Concord
down
was
some of these
probably
projects, Nick,
greenlit.
but you also understand they also just published Helldivers, right? Helldivers 2, which is like the best-selling game of the year and astronomically successful. And so at the same time, you're like, they're cutting projects and like maybe this is a bad idea. Helldivers comes along and is now like maybe telling them, oh, maybe this is a good idea. So I don't know if they're like trying to move away from this stuff now.
they've been making
Concord
weird
was
decisions
probably
though. So.
greenlit around the time that they switched to the games as a service strategy, and that was
And it's
well
probably one of the
before
farthest
Bungie came
along.
online with Sony. And Bungie's experiences with Marathon and their interactions with Naughty Dog seem to be the primary reasons that are making Sony rethink their entire strategy, which they absolutely should. You should bet your entire thing on
which
just
considering
having
they didn't have any qualms about canceling that Last of Us multiplayer game
Or
and
Twisted Metal, damn it.
or
Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
And this game is still coming out though. That kind of says something about
That's
it,
why
right?
people
Like
are
that-
mad
this
at it, I
game-
think. That's why people are like, fuck this game, I think.
That's
Maybe
true.
a
That's
little
true.
bit.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Also, Guardians of the
Concord
Galaxy,
looks
Marvel
very Guardians-
comedy.
I
people are
like
into it.
the style. Some of the combat looks fun, but it's just like it's a hero shooter, and I don't want to like let myself even get interested in it at all because I just don't feel like it's gonna have the legs that it needs to have to like make me.
Oh,
interested
but it doesn't
in playing
matter
it.
because it's not a game for you. And even if it
It
does,
really
you'd be
isn't,
like,
no.
oh, I guess that's nice for that company, but this ain't. I mean, I don't give a shit. So we'll see. I don't want
Let's
any
move on.
company to struggle though.
Let's talk about the things that we do really care about a lot here. So Astrobot, I think, is a big one, right? So we were kind of hypothesizing. I mean, the whole industry was hypothesizing that we'd be seeing that it was heavily rumored that Astrobot would be announced, and most of what was rumored came to pass. So Asobi announced their new Astrobot game, which is a fully fledged. I think this is a $60 to $70 product. Astrobot
I don't think we know the price
platformer.
yet, but we do know it's like a big, like
Yeah.
4 times
getting
the size of that.
It's like
It's getting a physical
PS5
release.
game.
Yeah. It's 6 galaxies with over 80 levels.
Yeah, that's a lot.
80
That is
levels.
that is
Damn.
a lot.
I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah. So they tweeted a bunch of details about it, and we're gonna get another look at this game on Friday at the Summer Game Fest thing, and that's another reason I mentioned it. We're probably gonna get another close look at this game on Friday because pre-orders don't open for the game until Friday, so they must be timing that with some kind of like deeper dive. So we'll get a better idea. Like if they didn't show anything having to do with VR, I'm not saying it's gonna be there or not, but they haven't said anything about it. But like what's cool about it is that it looks like this looks like an Astrobot game that isn't designed around a piece of tech. It looks like it's built from the ground up, very much like Nintendo approaching a 3D Mario game in the sense that where it looks like it has a lot of variety. It's super
Looks
colorful. It
delightful.
has a lot of it
honestly looks like Rescue Mission meets Playroom. I mean, it looks like it's taken the best stuff from both of those games and just blowing it out into like a big, huge.
And
The thing is, do you think what's the audience for something like this? Do you think this? Obviously, it's probably going to review well, right? But like, does
Yeah,
this
it
thing
will.
sell well?
I think it will. I think it
I
will.
imagine it will.
that
I think there's
Sackboy platformer bombed, and granted, that wasn't like the flashiest game in the world, but
But that was actually
you
a pretty
know,
good game, though.
it was, and it was a known
Yeah.
character, and the original Little Big Planet was a very successful like project.
You know who I think this appeals to? I think this is going to appeal to people who miss the heyday of like games like Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter.
But the question is, are there many of those people? Because even that Ratchet and Clank game that launched with the PlayStation 5,
Mhm.
that only sold like a couple million units. I
I mean,
copied.
here's the thing. I don't think
Seems
this is
crazy,
going to be.
but
I think this is going to be one of those games that like I don't think it needs to sell more than a couple million copies to be considered successful. Like
you're
Yeah.
probably right.
it's
But,
gonna,
I mean,
it's gonna
these
be
days, who
using.
knows,
I don't
right?
think this is gonna be like this is gonna look astronomically better than Astro's Playroom. I think it's just gonna be on a bigger scale. So like they're working with tech they've already been developing on for at this point 2 games or 2.
This is the perfect game to kind of like not moonlight, right? The because it's still going to keep going, but to be the non-pro version of the PS5, because in a couple of
Mm.
years when there's a pro on the shelf and there's a non-pro on the shelf and they're doing bundles because they don't want to drop the price,
Oh,
then
Astrobot's an obvious bundle.
you're going to see this game
Oh, for
bundled with the
sure.
non-pro model
Yeah.
PS5 for like younger people. But again,
I can see this becoming. I can see this being a game that they even bundle with the pro version at some point.
the
Like,
thing is, the PS5 is the pro version. Yeah, I'm actually curious to see what the pro version would look like. But it's what am I trying to say? The PS5 is a successful console, right? Doing quite well.
Yep.
Everyone, that last Astro game is on every PS5, and a lot of people have played Astro now. So I'm
and
curious,
this is the
right?
first.
Because
This is the first time we're seeing it on a state. Like we're gonna see it on this big stage, front and center. I think they're gonna go big with this one because they want to establish Astrobot now as like more than just a tech demo or a mascot
Yeah,
character. They want it to be like
If they play their
platformer,
cards
big
right, they can
platformer.
make Astrobot their own equivalent to Mario, basically. And I think there is a significant thirst out there for a cute character platformer.
There's not
like
enough of
this.
those these
What about
days.
Sackboy?
Damn it.
There isn't. There really isn't. Outside
they,
of like,
they tried it with Sackboy, but it just didn't work out. I think
You know what I
there
think
were
it
some
was?
limitations there.
You know what I think it was, and this is not a knock against Little Big Planet, but I think it was the link to Little Big Planet because a lot of Little Big Planet certainly wasn't a game that was for everybody, right? It didn't have the mass appeal. It was for a very specific
the first
subset
Little
of
Big
people.
Planet was really successful.
Like I can tell you right now,
I think.
even though we talked about it here, and I know we were very positive about it here, and I didn't really make a conscious decision not to play Sackboy, but like part of me was looking at Sackboy as like a spin-off of Little Big Planet, which I was never really into. So this doesn't have that quote unquote baggage. So
But
you
bitch,
know,
you didn't play Little Big Planet. You don't know. Of course, you weren't a Little Big Planet fan. Fuck you. Long
And
live
Brad,
Mini
neither,
Molecule.
neither were a lot of people.
I
A
was
lot
trying
of
to
people
be.
didn't play Little Big Planet.
I was
No,
trying to be as gentle as possible.
I
because-
know. Or by the time Sackboy came around, there was no Little
Look,
Big Planet
bitch.
fans.
Look,
I'm
bitch.
pretty sure
I
Little
never
Big Planet
said
3 sold dog shit.
I never said Little Big Planet was a bad game or anything. I'm just saying I know it was not my thing. It was not a game for me. But when Sackboy came along,
You don't know.
it was attached. It is related to a thing that I already associated with not being for me. This doesn't really have that. This is just a mascot platformer, which I think anybody could jump into and really enjoy. And if they play like Chris Davis said, if they play their cards right, I think this looks as cool and as colorful, as vibrant, as exciting to me as Super Mario Galaxy did.
also,
I think
to
this
be clear,
I think this has Game of the
it
Year
looks nice,
potential
but let's not
written
get
all over
crazy.
it.
yeah.
Hey man,
I don't see Mario Galaxy brilliance set. I see bosses from Rescue Mission and a lot of nostalgia. And it's colorful, it's beautiful, and I know it's going to be good because I know Asobi makes good games. But let's reel it back a little bit. This shit ain't going to be Galaxy. I don't think so. If it is, hey, it's on my
Let's move
fantasy
on.
critic. But yeah,
let's move
I-
on. There's still other games to talk about.
One last thing I want to throw in here about Astrobot. I think that Sony is probably going to put out a demo for this, and I think that's what's
probably.
really going to sell people on it.
Potentially. I mean, there's a lot of things they have at their disposal.
there's a Astro demo on every PlayStation. So
That is
Yeah.
true.
I don't know.
Maybe they could just
people
use.
I work with who are casual gamers know what Astro is if they own a PS5 and they, you know.
They should literally just remind people at the showcase, hey, by the way, everybody has this game, has a demo for this game, essentially. Go play
Yeah.
Astro's Playroom. Because it's fucking miraculous. And all right,
He's
anyways,
interacting with the nostalgia.
Four
more
or
directly, too, which is
four or
nice.
5 levels out of like 80 put into a demo. That's a good taste. I think people will like that.
all right, let's move on real quick. A couple more big things we need to talk about. Monster Hunter Wilds. We got our first look at gameplay of Monster Hunter Wilds, which again, we're getting another close look on Friday. What?
Well, maybe we're getting another close look.
No. They've said there is a gameplay demo of Monster Hunter Wilds on stage on Friday at Summer Game Fest.
I just want to say one of the new things they showed off are herds or stampedes or whatever. Like in the video, he's fighting multiple large monsters at once, which is not really something you did. I mean, you did in like the Rampage, right, and Rise, or you'd occasionally be slugging it at two large monsters going at it at once. But here he's fighting like 4 of the same, like a herd of the same large monster at once. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the look of it. The fact that you can bring another weapon with you into a hunt and switch out on your map
is cool.
so
That's a
exciting.
game changer.
It means I can go into a hunt with whatever, something I'm afraid of, right? Good Monster Hunter, you're afraid, damn it. And I'm afraid because I'm fucking around with a weapon that I'm not comfortable with. But if I can have a lance on my mount, when I'm feeling frightened and I don't want to feel frightened anymore, and I go grab my lance, like that, to me, that already changes like the whole Monster Hunter mindset. I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah, and the mount, there's no wire bug, but they did put a lot of emphasis on mounts, so that seems to be a big aspect of it. Which we also don't know a
Which is
lot
good.
about
I'm
how
glad
what
they're
this game
scaling
is
that back a
structured
little.
like. But it seems like traveling by mount is going to be a huge part of this, so I'm really
for
curious
sure.
to see what that looks like. But
They
yeah,
can
this
glide
game
and
looks
stuff now.
fucking gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous. Looks cool. I'm ready to see more for sure, though. I want more than just a taste.
A taste.
Do you think this is going to be like a... Granted, I've never played a Monster Hunter game. I know how weird that sounds. But like from my perspective, this trailer felt like a story thing. Like, do you think they're actually going to go the route of having a protagonist without a character creator?
No.
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
I don't
Because
think so.
I mean,
I think all
it's
those
all
characters
about
you
it's all
saw-
about the drip in Monster Hunter. You're getting parts to make the armor to look a certain way. I mean, you're going to be able to create a character. Now, the thing is, if I know a couple of y'all kind of jumped on more on with Rise, right? But Monster Hunter World was definitely more like story heavy than Rise was. I think they're going to kind of go back in that direction, and it's going to be
Okay.
heavier emphasis on like a more cinematic story as you play Monster Hunter, which it's still a Monster Hunter. It's not a story game, but that new Smith looks pretty good. I like
Yeah,
her
yeah.
look.
Okay. So, a couple other things I want to
It's-
mention here before we move on. Skydance's Behemoth was re-revealed with a release window.
This is Fantasy Critic talk because we don't care about this game.
Yeah,
Nick.
yeah. We'll talk about it in Fantasy Critic. But I mean, I care about it. But like, it's a game that I didn't think we were going to see again, and it looks pretty cool. Let's see
This
what
is their
else they-
gameplay reveal, by the way.
Yeah,
This is like
yep.
been a long anticipated game, and it was quiet for a long time. And the developers are like, "Oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming," and it's going to change the VR landscape. It's going to be such a big deal, and it just looks like
Which-
a VR game. Some of these games you don't know how awesome they are until people start playing them. I'm like, dude, it feels so awesome. You can do so much crazy shit. I caught an arrow out of the sky and I shot it back at an enemy, which he did in the trailer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
that could be great.
and the only other thing, so like I said, there's a lot of little things that are going to come up elsewhere. I'm sure they showed something called Where Winds Meet, Ballad of Antara, Infinity Nikki, which are some of the games that you mentioned before. But the only other thing
Winds
of
Meet
note,
we'd seen before, but
Yeah.
only other thing of note here is Silent Hill 2 got a release date of October 8th, which leads us
Say what
straight
you will.
into the thing that immediately followed the PlayStation State of Play, which is Silent Hill's second
just gonna steamroll over Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
the
yeah.
origins. They're going back. They're
fucking
going
hate
back. It's the origin story of the Yellow Turban Rebellion or whatever the
It
fuck.
looks fun. It really does to me.
It's I'm just kidding. Silent Hill, Nick.
I'm serious.
No, sorry. This is just me doing some on the cuff editing here this list. So yeah, Silent Hill 2 got a deep dive. Well, we got a cinematic trailer at the State of Play, and then they did like a hour long transmission thing from Konami where they focus entirely around Silent Hill 2, and they gave it the proper like reveal and talked about the cast and like showed a bunch of different aspects of the game, not just focus on combat, which I think was so necessary, especially after that last one that they did. Which I said it during trailer talk today. I think the biggest mistake they made from a marketing perspective was ever coming up with a combat trailer for a game like Silent Hill 2. It's just
there's a lot of
it's just
combat in those
weird.
games, and it sucks. So whatever.
No, but like it just
Silent
felt
Hill
so.
sucks. There's combat in it, and it's bad.
It felt so reactive. And here's the thing: I don't think the combat in this remake looks bad. I just don't think it's important enough to focus an entire trailer around. And suddenly, it dominated the conversation. And boom! Suddenly, all people are talking about is the combat, which has never been the focus of a Silent Hill game.
The sad reality is there ain't that many people talking about Silent Hill much these days. Anyways.
That is true. That is true. But they're obviously trying to change that.
Cutscenes look good. Cutscenes look good. You know, they seem
I
well
think
made.
I think this game, cutscenes and all, like, first of all, I think most of the cutscenes we saw were in engine, if not all of them. I think this game, from top to bottom, I think looks pretty stunningly beautiful. I'm into the way.
Beautiful.
I think this game looks fucking gorgeous, especially when you get a good look at like exterior shots where he's like walking around the streets of Silent Hill, and like the fog effects I think look really nice. It's cool. It's cool to see It's cool to see a Silent Hill game where the fog effects are not there to mask the bad tech underneath. So I think it looks
when
great.
he gets pissed at the girl.
So
that's
no.
He's being so nice to this little girl,
and then she calls him a fart face like 3 times.
Well, it just reminds me of when I get pissed at like Henry or something, right? Like he's trying so hard to be nice to her. He's like, "Oh, hey, what the fuck's going on here?" And she's like, "Oh, I was hanging out with your daughter a year ago." And he's like, "What the fuck?" But then he's like trying to be nice again. Yeah, that's good. It's good acting. Good acting.
No, on that note,
like, shut the fuck up.
On that note, like as we were watching this thing, there was a few people that kind of jumped on, like, obviously there's a lot. This is, like you said, Brad. This is going to be a game where people are going to be very critical, as they should be. It's a very famous game being remade. So, but like a lot of people jumping maybe a little too early on certain things. Like people were like, "Oh my god, they've completely changed the character. Like Laura is like, she's not a little bitch anymore. She just looks like this nice little girl." And then like 5 seconds later, she like locks him in a room and calls him a fart face. And I was like, "Oh, she's still a little bitch." People were they didn't wait for the other shoe to drop is the problem. So I think most of what they showed here looks really good. They showed like some combat, which was nice because they were showing things like kneecapping nurses and like dropping them so you can pull out melee weapons and stuff, which I think is cool, like a cool addition. I think combat looks more competent than it ever has in a Silent Hill game, so that's neat, I guess. But like all the stuff, like tonally and exploration wise, I think it's striking all the right notes here. Like for me, as long as they stick to the story and they just find ways to make the world more interactive, I'm all in, man. I think this looks pretty stellar. During the thing, they didn't say anything about like the other games that I think people have been waiting to hear about, like Silent Hill F and Townfall, which are maybe the more interesting projects because they're just unknowns. They spent the rest of their time talking about the movie that they're making, which I didn't realize up until this point was like an actual movie about Silent Hill 2. Like they're literally going to release this remake, and then the movie is just Silent Hill 2 in movie form. And I don't know, man. I don't think it looks all that great, but then again, I don't know. It's like the director's talking about the movie, and they're showing literal shots of the movie where he creates like the same iconic like camera movement that's in the game, and it just doesn't work the same way in a movie as it does in a game. And it's almost like it's almost like, so you're really just trying to recreate this thing like shot for shot, which I don't think is the way to go here. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. The only thing I really care about right now, I have the blinders on, is Silent Hill 2, and that's officially coming October 8th of this year, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I hope they deliver on something. I hope people can get behind it and give it credit where credit is due. And if it's bad, it's bad. But I'm gonna
I
give
don't
him the
think it's
benefit
gonna
of the
be
doubt for now.
bad. But the thing is, what does this game have to be like actually make people happy?
I mean, realistically speaking, you know, there's
Is it
no
gonna?
world. There's no world, I think, in which this like because here's the thing. Back in 2002 or whatever, when Silent Hill 2 actually came out, like even though it's widely considered to be one of the best horror games ever made, I could be wrong, but I think if you go back and look at the reviews, like the actual critical reviews of the game, it wasn't getting 9s and 10s. You know what I mean? Like it's still a kind of a
Actually?
janky mess in some
It
cases.
got some vitriol back in the day.
What? Silent Hill
You
2?
know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's so you know. I think we'll talk about fantasy critic stuff later. Let's move on.
Well,
Let's
well,
take
real
a break.
quick. I missed
It's at
the
89 on Metacritic.
I missed the Silent Hill event. Did they talk? Did they talk about the other Silent Hill stuff?
I just said that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They did
Well,
not
I guess
they did not talk about Silent Hill F or Townfall, which are the other two things that we know about.
okay.
They-
at
All
this
right.
point.
Thank you.
They just did Silent Hill 2 for like 90% of it, and then they did a short thing about the movie,
Okay.
which is a Silent Hill 2 adaptation.
Well, hopefully that means we don't get
adaptation.
the AI generated quote unquote web show that they had going on.
Oh no! You mean the Ascension thing they've been doing? No, they
Maybe
didn't say
I don't remember the
anything
name.
about that. No, that's the thing that's been going for, you know, a year now or months.
Wait, is that
months, I
still
don't know.
going?
It's still going. Yeah, but nobody cares about it. Or the
Jesus.
people. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's not something I care about. So whatever.
I have no
Anyways,
idea.
let's take a break. When we come back from the break, we're gonna focus on some predictions. We're gonna hand the reins over to Chris Davis. He's gonna give us some predictions. We'll talk about Summer Game Fest, and then we'll do a little Fancy Critic update and wrap up with the 4-player minute. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break. All right, welcome back to the show. As I mentioned
Nick,
earlier,
I have a question for you.
Oh God, yes.
In your opinion,
Yes.
is the combat in Alone in the Dark comparable to a modern Resident Evil combat?
Fuck off.
No,
Okay.
answer the fucking question.
I haven't played it. What do you want me to say?
Oh, I thought you played that game.
No.
Wait,
Only Chris Davis here has
you
played
didn't play
it.
Alone in the Dark,
No. The new one? The one that came out this year?
dude?
No. I haven't touched it yet. I'm going to.
Oh, weird. Why haven't you played that?
Because I haven't had time. Have you seen
apparently the
what kind of
combat's really
year it's
good.
been?
Fucking God.
Oh my
It's
God.
so
It's
much.
good. It's good in
Okay,
Resident Evil.
Can
right?
you,
Hate you so much.
can you not drive Chris Davis to drastic measures before I hand the reins over to
I'm
him
just,
to
I'm
lead
just
this
thinking
next
about Resident
segment?
Evil 4. You know, I don't know. Whatever. All right, go ahead.
Look. We're gonna, as I said at the beginning of the show, we kind of moved some stuff around. Nolan had to bow out. They're having a little bit of a weather emergency in his area right now, and of course, we hope they're doing well. But we're kind of waiting on an update from him. So hopefully, Nolan and Bernadette and the pups are doing good. So
Keep him in your thoughts.
I hope if his roof blows off, but they still feel like pretty comfortable that the worst of it's over, he still like pops in and says, "Hey guys, I have no
With a-
roof.
with a roof missing?
Crazy!" That would be kind of cool. It'd be sad.
I mean, that would be wild.
at least we know he's okay.
Obviously, we hope nothing like that happens. But
Yeah.
anyways, our thoughts are with Nolan and Bernadette and the pups and everything as they hunker down during this weather emergency. For now, we're gonna press on, just the three of us. And like I said earlier,
before we get into it, can I throw out two pieces of news that broke this evening?
sure.
First
I was
of
about
which,
to hand the
if we
reins
say
over to
no.
you to do whatever you want with.
Yeah, well, I'll take ownership in a second, but I want to throw out two things. Number one,
Okay.
Octopath Traveler 2 has just been dropped on Game Pass.
Interesting.
Okay.
Too bad I
And
already
has
paid for
received
that.
a new update for it that adds quote unquote super bosses.
Weird.
Octopath
Weird.
1 is now on PS4 and PS5. The other thing, which I think is much more interesting, is that Night Dive is
man.
teasing
Ooh, no one
a
that's Trevor?
remaster of The Thing.
Yeah, which is weird, right? So,
The Thing game. Do
I
people
don't think
like
that's
that
weird
game?
at all. I think it's
so
awesome.
well,
Do you
so
like that game?
do
Chris
people love
Davis?
that game? I know people love The Thing, but
It
is that
reviewed
game
pretty
like?
well. The game
It
reviewed pretty well.
had
I
check the receipts on that one. It
It was like
had
an
the
8 out
thing
of 10.
of like you didn't know like who was the
Well,
thing.
yeah. I mean,
And
that
it
has
was
to
it was
be.
but it was like dynamic, and you were like giving it because it was not like a squad game, but you can like give him like guns and stuff. But you're like, oh, am I gonna give this guy a gun and he's just gonna blow my brains out? I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be
Like
honest
it was a
with you right
direct
now.
sequel to the original film.
Look, that is one of the things that apparently is going to be revealed on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, which again, we're about to do predictions for the Summer Game Fest presentation.
High 70s on Metacritic. Are you telling me the new Silent Hill remake of 2 can't score better than The Thing on PlayStation 2, Nick?
It's apples and oranges, my friend. Okay, real quick, I just want to say, in a post System Shock remake world, I only care about Night Dive if they're remaking the thing. I don't really care much about a remastered port of the thing.
But that's what Night Dive does. But they fix
They-
controls, they do
no.
quality of life stuff sometimes, you know?
I know. I mean, I've played all their Turok remasters. I'm just saying they're impressive remasters, but like the only thing that's going to get me genuinely excited at this point for a game like The Thing, which I think is a really cool property to play with in a video game, like bring that shit
Do you
back,
know
but
why?
like remake it.
Do you know why the
Modernize
shit
it. Make
stinks
it
a little bit, Nick? Do you know why
What?
the shit stinks a little bit?
why?
Because Doom was fucking good, and Doom clones were fucking good. Some of this other shit, doesn't quite hold up. You know, it's like you remaster that, it's still kind of a whatever game. You know what's fucking good? Fucking no one lives forever. That's what they should be fucking remastering. God damn it. You know,
I want to
those
see
old
Night Dive. Here's the thing. I think The Thing could be really cool, but like I want a thing that resembles System Shock and in terms of like production value and like reinvention
remake.
versus
Yeah, but
a
they were working on
Turok
it for
remaster. You know what I
years.
mean?
They were working
I
on it
mean,
for
maybe
years.
they've been working on it for years. They've been growing.
Hey,
You never
I'm
know.
of the
Time,
opinion
though.
that you let Night Dive work on whatever the fuck they want. They do a good
Believe me.
job all across the board.
I mean, they
thing
do.
is the
They
thing
do.
is not the thing is like these remasters are like super good. They're not super good in quality. It's super good that they're happening because
No, yeah,
old
yeah, of
PC
course.
games are not the easiest things to get running well and perfectly, and it's wonderful when it happens. Now the thing is they're kind of putting out like small ones here and there that aren't like really, wasn't like PO'd or something just came out or some
Yep.
shit. Like
That
no
came
one
out of
wanted
nowhere.
that. No one cares about that, and that's fine. I'm okay with this just being a remaster, but I do want them to pick projects that are a little bit higher profile than The Thing or PO'd, because like there are still lost PC games that like people just love so much that people want definitive versions of. You know,
Absolutely.
give me Blood Omen and Soul Reaver, like awesome running modern versions of those, because that's a beloved franchise that we'll never see again.
which is
And
why I think something like The Thing would be more interesting as a remake. Like System Shock has been done now for like, has it been? I mean, it came out last year, but I feel like it's been done for almost 2 years because I think it came out pretty early
how
last
did
year.
that even do though? Is that even like, did that even make money for them?
I mean, it was kickstarted.
Okay,
I mean,
but
yeah,
I mean,
but that only pays you
It was
so
a very
much.
successful. It
that,
was a
that,
very successful Kickstarter, and
that amount of money does not take you that far in terms of like running a whole company like for a long period of time
I
afterwards.
mean, here the thing is, their remasters I think do so well for them. It can fund these like, it can help fund these dream projects. You know what I mean?
Maybe it did okay.
But listen.
A story put out last year around the launch says, quote, exceeded expectations with strong revenue.
So you know what? You know what I think it is here. I think because we see the word expectations thrown around a lot, and I think some companies have realistic expectations and others don't.
Okay, well,
You know what I mean?
also
Like,
very different kinds of companies, I'm
well,
sure.
sure. I mean,
I mean,
yes,
it looks like,
exactly.
according to SteamDB, estimated like 250,000 copies, which is probably a lot better than their typical remasters. But I mean, this was in development for a long time, so that means expensive. But I don't know how
But
many
again,
people were
also a
working on it.
certain chunk of that development cost was covered by Kickstarter. But
True.
anyways, we're getting into the weeds here. I don't want to get into the weeds. Before I hand it over, Chris, I just want to say so Chris Davis is going to lead us through predictions for Summer Game Fest, which is just going to cover the presentation on Friday, Jeff Keighley's thing, and then Xbox, Ubisoft Forward, into indie showcases, all that stuff. And we're going to do it kind of like we did last year. I'll let Chris Davis explain that in a second. I just want to say that we also reached out to people in Discord to kind of pull predictions and shit in. So I think Chris Davis factored some of these in. I don't know if you're going to be
Hopefully, you
mentioning
got
people by name.
my one on there. At least I had one. Hey, is this framed in such a way that people who are not currently here tonight can still participate in this after the fact, like a spreadsheet or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, it's a Google spreadsheet. I'll share it with you after I'm done. Yeah, I've got
Just
a
for
whole bunch.
funsies.
You're gonna track our answers that we give you now.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so
got
this
it
is going to
open
be
right in front of
interesting. This is going to be interesting.
Okay.
So Chris
Maybe.
Davis.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. So here's how we're doing this. This is a collection.
Have you already
of-
weeded out things that we now know are going to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This is current as of this afternoon. Most of this was written on Monday. I would say a good third of it is community suggestions, and I've split it into two halves basically. The first half is Summer Games Fest / general announcements. Because what my thinking is that we've got over a dozen announced showcases and events coming over the next 10 days. It's going to be crowded.
Right.
Any of these games, they could show up at any of these conferences. And there's also others that are not announced yet, like a Capcom event or a Square Enix event, things like that. So they could show up elsewhere. So that's why I decided to put them into a general category with SGF.
Okay.
The other half of the list is split between 3 events. The Xbox Showcase on Sunday, the Ubisoft Forward event that follows that, and the Nintendo Direct / Treehouse, which we're most certainly going to get.
Which has not been announced yet, so...
Not been announced. That's the only thing that's not
may not
announced, but
happen.
know
I feel like
they're
it's got to
doing something in
happen.
June.
They always do it, so...
And real quick, just before, because we're going to start with the Summer Game Fest presentation, right? And I just want to say, this is not... I'm just trying to make sure, because we do this all the time, right? We've been covering these events for a very long time. Even back in the day when we go to E3 and stuff. Like, it's really easy, and it's fine to get excited and get hyped, right? But, like, you got to temper expectations a little bit. And somebody asked Jeff Keighley to his face, well, not to his face, but, like, he was doing a Q&A thing, right? They were like, Jeff, out of 1 out of 10, how would you rate this year's Summer Game Fest? And he said 8.
Yeah,
So
and
take
I think that comes
you
from
will.
I think that comes from the perspective of him talking about his event.
Right.
Like,
And
at the
how
end of the
he
day,
feels
Jeff
about it.
Keighley is a salesman. He's not like a regal figure in the industry.
He's
Like,
also
he doesn't have that much influence.
he also does like to try and set, because I'm sure he's seen backlash in the years past, so he tries to set people's expectations accordingly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this primarily so that we can all be on an even playing field in terms of like how we're going to predict. But he also specified that at the Summer Game Fest there is not going to be a one more thing. You know what I mean? Like the big, like, oh, almost forgot, and then here's boom, this huge game that nobody saw coming.
This
right?
is weeds. We are drowning in weeds. I want to get to this damn
I'm
list.
setting the expectations accordingly. Use that information however you will. Chris Davis, take it away.
Okay.
Remember, I
all
want to
right.
keep this moving, so we can't spend a ton of time talking about every single fucking thing.
Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to ask y'all yes or no questions. You just give me a yes or a no. I will tally those up after we're done with announcement season, and I will reveal the shows on a later show. Also, if we have time tonight, I've got a bonus round of open-ended questions for y'all, but we can worry about
And
that
of course, there will be we will have little bits of banter here. We're not just going to go yes, and
absolutely,
then move on.
yeah,
Right? We're gonna
definitely.
Okay.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
All right.
And
Let's get started.
So I'm getting the big painful one for Nick out of the way. First question
For me.
for all of us. Well, for you specifically.
Oh, I
'cause this
think
hurts
I
you.
know what this. I think I know what this is.
Will we see Borderlands 4?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I am of the assumption that this game that I want more than anything to be BioShock 4 is going to be Borderlands 4.
You gotta say your
And-
answer too, Chris Davis.
I say yes. I think that's the
I
big
say
take
no.
two thing that we're going to see.
I am preparing myself to be wildly disappointed when I see Borderlands on screen. I hope I'm
It's
surprised.
been leaked.
Well, no,
Okay.
no.
Papa Shot, send me a DM. I need a cheat sheet. Send me a DM in Discord.
Wow.
Borderlands
Cheater.
the
Send me a
movie
link,
Cheater.
or drop
game.
it. I want
No,
to
no,
see
no,
this.
no,
Cheater. Okay.
no cheating, no cheating, no
Okay.
cheating.
Or post
Next
a link.
game.
Post a link.
Will we see BioShock 4?
As much as I want that the answer to that question to be yes, I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes. I think it's time for Cloud Chamber to finally show off what they're working on.
I 100%
Shot.
agree that it is time, but I think if BioShock 4 was going to be there, I think Jeff Keighley would maybe be a little more confident in the lineup, what he's going to be showing.
I changed my Borderlands answer to yes.
God damn
Okay.
it.
I will accept this, but I'm locking it down. From now on, ignore chat. You're making guesses on what
Okay, but
information
all
we
the
have
people who
right
answer
now.
after the fact. Okay, whatever.
Well, you know that was a
They'll
cheating.
have more information.
whatever.
They'll have more information. I feel like they need to answer these questions right away.
Brad, you
Okay.
are forbidden from. You know what? Maybe we should just close chat while we're doing
You're
this.
not
I don't know.
fucking listening to me. I'm saying, what if fucking Carlos rolls up? He gets to look at this fucking tweet and get the right answer. You know, why can't I? It's not fair.
Then
We
maybe
have to answer this shit live and get our shit locked down. They get to answer this
Yes.
shit like tomorrow and more shit leaks. Come on.
I want to do more predictions. Let's keep going. We'll worry
Okay.
about this later. It doesn't matter anyways.
The darling game of last year, do we see an announcement of a sequel to Dave the Diver?
No.
No.
Next.
No.
No? Okay. Well,
You think that's a game we're even going to get a sequel to?
I think
soon,
it made so much money and got so much
True,
praise
too soon.
critically that I don't see how
soon.
Nexon wouldn't want to actually announce that immediately.
Yeah, I
True,
do think it's too soon.
They're still doing
Too soon.
DLC and stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
And aren't they working on another game that looks nothing like Dave the Diver at the moment?
I wouldn't put it past them just immediately cancel that and work on Dave the Diver too. Okay, next. Will we see gameplay of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater?
Ooh, so PlayStation is one of the
No.
participating companies. And again, I think this comes back to like if he had Metal Gear Solid Delta, I feel like he would be more confident in in the lineup. But he's not. He's giving his own presentation an 8. Nah, I'm gonna go no.
Okay. I mean, it's
I'm gonna go
Keeley.
no.
Like, you know how he is. I'm going to
Here's the
say,
thing,
again,
Jeff Keighley is not one. He doesn't usually do like bait and switches. I don't think he's sitting here trying to be like, oh yeah, it's like an 8, but
Okay.
it's really like a 10. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's doing that. I think he's being sincere.
Perhaps I should do a clarifier thing here real quick. Again, this is Summer Games Fest and general announcements, meaning that it would just have to
Right.
be announced during announcement season.
Right.
What is
But
So
that,
it could show up at
anytime in
Xbox. It
June?
could show up at PlayStation events, things like that.
I
When is
don't
that
think
supposed to come out?
I don't think BioShock 4 is going to show up at Xbox, and I don't think it's going to show up anywhere else. And the only other place it would make sense is the Summer Game Fest thing. So no, I don't think BioShock's going to be there. I don't think Metal Gear Solid Delta is going to show up anywhere else other than
Yeah,
than Summer
I'd like
Game
to change
Fest.
my BioShock answer to no, but that's the last change.
Okay,
As
I'll
far
change
as Metal Gear, I'm saying no.
Okay, well, I'm saying yes. I'm feeling positive right now.
Chris Davis is just like shooting for the moon, setting himself up for so
Gotta
much
shoot
disappointment.
for the. You gotta have some hope in your heart, Brad.
Hey, look,
Nick,
don't get me
you
wrong.
gotta have some hope.
I'm always excited.
I
for
have
this
no
time of
hope
year.
in that project. I think it's gonna be whack.
I
Okay,
hope
well,
I
alright.
have so much. I love this time of year. You know me. I used to. My favorite part of going to E3 used to be going to the press conferences. Like I love this time of year, but I'm also trying to be realistic here. So I'm going with no. I hope I'm wrong. Every time I say no, I hope I'm wrong.
Okay,
But-
all
You
right.
think Tango GameWorks is hyped for this E3? Key 3?
No, I don't.
Let's not go there. All right, next one. We got a lot to get through. Will we get a release date for Hollow Knight Silksong?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, I think so.
I will also say yes. It's time. I think it will be at the
But-
Xbox event.
I think it'll be Xbox event, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
oh,
Because
yeah.
the last time it showed up was an Xbox event. I think it'll be there.
Next
All
one.
right. Will we see Persona 6?
Maybe like a tease. I'd say a
Tease? That would be
tease.
yes.
No. I think not till after Metaphor ships. So I'm gonna say
Okay.
no.
Nick?
I'm gonna go no.
Okay,
I'm gonna go no.
that's my first no. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay.
No. Even though
It
I
is
don't know if
green.
you
We
saw
know
it.
it's green.
Yeah, we know. I was about to say, I don't know if y'all saw it. We know it's green.
Yeah. Oh boy, just grasping at air. Okay. This is a subjective question. Will Dragon Age Dreadwolf look cool to Brad?
No.
To Brad.
To Brad?
No.
No.
No, I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna go no.
In that
But
case, I'm
also
gonna go
maybe-
yes, because if I say yes, well, I'll be honest. You know what the latest I heard is that this new Dragon Age is more like God of War, like most recent God of War than any Dragon Age game we've.
See, I was specifically
familiar.
thinking about that leaked footage, and I was like, I don't think that looked very good. I don't think Brad thought it looked very good. But that was also like
Well, that
all of like 10 seconds long, so who the fuck knows? Like a
Wait,
lot of
wait,
like a lot of the concept art I think that we've seen so far looks really fucking cool.
I have to be impressed by the showing of Dragon Age, is what you're saying?
Yes.
But here's the thing. I think we will
They
see
could do
that.
good character work, and I could be like impressed. Like we try. I leaks say a female Kunari. That's exciting. I'm gonna say I'm not impressed. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm not impressed.
'Cause I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's all but been confirmed that is going to be shown somewhere, probably at Xbox
Maybe.
Or SG.
or SGF.
I hope it's
I
just
mean-
a cinematic trailer.
I
Let
mean,
me
it
tell
also
ya,
could be at
I
an
won't be
event
impressed.
with EA. Like, supposedly it's going to be coming out this fall.
No, I'm pretty
There's
sure.
still some rumors that it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
I don't think
I mean-
EA is doing anything this year.
Someone could do this like a $1 bid, because what there's no way we get to the end of the year and don't know when Dragon Age is coming.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not going to say anything about Dragon Age before the end.
Okay. All right. Let's go. All right. Will we see the next game from Shinji Mikami?
No,
No.
Lord, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Do we even know he's working on it? I don't remember
His
the last-
Started a new studio.
his non-compete clause ended middle of last year. He has quietly started up a new studio. There have been rumors
Quietly.
about what he's working on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. That's
Well,
way
man,
too
you already
soon.
have so much information. Maybe you should be answering first, Chris Davis.
Well, I'm going to say yes on this because I think back. I feel like Mikami has like a step down, but that Hideo Kojima energy in which he could probably put up like a rapid like prototype trailer, and just we see it and like we actually play it in 5 years, but he could announce it now.
So, can I use this as an opportunity to slip something in here that we know is going to be there that I think fits here?
Okay.
So this won't be part of the predictions. This was confirmed today, but this is actually maybe the thing I'm the most excited about now that we know it's there. We're going to get our first look at Slitterhead
Yes.
on Friday, which is the game from the original creator of the original Silent Hill.
Uh-huh.
And we saw that game in a very weird trailer that showed it was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
And now we're fine. So to your point, could Shinji Mikami pull a Slitterhead and do a trailer that makes no sense right now?
My
and
answer
then-
is still no. I think we should move on.
Okay. I think my answer is no as well. I'm just saying we are seeing Slitterhead, which is exciting. I'm really excited to see more of that. But I'm just saying Shinji Mikami could technically do the same thing here, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. I give it a yes. Y'all give it a no. All right. Will we see the next game from Playdead?
No. No.
No. Well,
No.
wait a second. Is Playdead they're usually multi-platform, right? They're not associated with one or the other.
We're talking
PC.
about the developers of Limbo and Inside.
Yeah. So they could be at Xbox. I
They
feel
could,
like
yeah.
here's the thing. I've said this before. I think Xbox, especially given the temperature of the industry right now and like the bad will that they've garnered over the past few months, I think they need to go hard and strong on this showcase. So having something like Playdead would be pretty big.
Yeah. I'm going to say
So I'm gonna
yes.
say
I'm going to be optimistic about this.
I'm going to say yes at Xbox.
Okay.
I'm changing my answer on one, and I know I wasn't going to do this,
You
but this is the Brad one.
motherfucker.
So I feel like I'm allowed to change Dragon Age to yes.
Okay, you are not Googling weird shit that we haven't seen yet, are you?
No, I'm no, not at all. I promise you.
Uh-huh.
I promise you. I mean, I got some SteamWorld heist footage rolling in the background. 13-minute extended gameplay, but there's nothing to do with that. I'm gonna change it to yes because I think that there is no world where BioWare shows their face again in public, where if what they have to show doesn't look kind of impressive, then they're done.
They're dead.
They would have canceled that project. There's no fucking way. It has to be somewhat cool looking.
All right, the next several games I like to call the mini block. It's a Capcom focused stuff. First game, will we see Pragmata?
No.
Well, PlayStation is gonna be at Summer Game Fest, but they're also bringing Astrobot. We already know they're bringing. They've got to have
Pragmata PlayStation only.
I think so. Yeah, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah.
I'm gonna say we do see Pragmata somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll go with yes.
I'm going.
That could be at like one of the that could be at like the future game showcase or PC gaming showcase or something.
Maybe.
Okay.
Or an Xbox. Or an Xbox.
I mean, Microsoft has the money. They could buy it.
I'm going yes.
They could buy it. You think they're buying this? Japanese
They better not be buying any fucking studios right now.
Oh, well, they just did, but that's another topic. Will we get a new project announcement for a Resident Evil game?
No.
A full-blown Resident Evil game? Would those remaster? No. Full-blown.
Stop calling them remasters. They're not remasters.
They are.
They're remakes. What are you talking about?
The Code Veronica rumors, right?
That's a remake. What are you talking about? They're talking about a remake.
But not like full-blown, right?
Yes, full-blown. Why in the world would you think it's not a full-blown remake? I don't understand.
The Code Veronica stuff, latest information was that maybe that shit was completely blown out of proportion, right?
No, what are you... What world where they remade Resident Evil 2, 3, 4?
We'll talk about it.
Do you think they wouldn't remake Code Veronica?
My answer is no.
My answer is also no. I don't think we're going to see anything Resident Evil related for a while.
Okay, 3 no's. All right. Where we see a remake of Dino Crisis?
No, stop. What are you talking about? No. Did somebody in Discord bring that up?
It was the most heavily it was one of the most heavily touted things from the Capcom community survey.
God damn it, that is never happening.
Okay, somebody clip that out. Clip that out. We'll use that from 5 years from now.
Fucking hot dog bet right now, not happening. You know, I was listening to Kind of Funny this week, and they do pizza bets, man. We've been doing it all wrong.
Well, we never even followed through on our fucking hot dog bets. So
well, yeah, because who wants to follow through on a hot dog? But
I like hot dogs.
Man, we'd be holding everybody accountable on pizza bets. Shit.
All right.
Anyways,
okay.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. Will we see a Mega Man game?
No.
So here's the thing, is that Capcom has been sending out postcard invitations to the press ahead of the Summer Games Fest event. The last time they did that was for the 30th anniversary of Mega Man.
Okay, so are you saying these postcards have Mega Man teasers on them or something?
Well, the one from the 30th anniversary did. This one, it's a little less, it's not clear, but I don't know. I think it's time we see a Mega Man game.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Brad?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Second to last Capcom game. Will we see a new IP from Capcom?
No.
A new IP from Capcom? No.
Nope.
Okay. All right. I think we've seen all the new IPs that Capcom has right now. I think it's going to be a while before we see
They've got a lot on their plate right now. I don't think we're going to... I mean, they've also already announced, what's it called? The thing we all thought was Onimusha.
Kinitsugami.
That's the new IP.
Between Kinitsugami and Pragmata, I think that's their...
They've checked their new IP boxes for a while, so I think we're good.
Okay. All right, and this is very much a rumor. This last one. Will we see a remake of the original Dead Rising?
I hope not.
100% yes. No, just kidding. No.
That's a no.
No. We'd sooner
No.
see Dead Rising 6 or whatever the fuck they're on.
Well, it would have been
That would-
5, but that got
I feel like that
canceled.
would just be wasted effort. That's just
Okay. I don't think it's wasted effort. I think there is a strong community for that, even however niche it is. I think we're eventually going to get it.
okay. Well, we're talking about this Summer Game Fest season. I'm going to say no.
Okay. All right. 3 no's. That's okay. All right. Next, will we see Yoko Taro's next game?
Ooh, hasn't he been tweeting about stuff lately? Like he's been dropping hints and shit. Maybe
he's been
game.
Making some near hints. He's been making some praise for Stellar Blade.
That's 2 conversations. What's your answer, Chris Davis?
I want to say yes.
You want to say? I mean, we all want to say
Is
yes.
your answer yes?
My answer is yes.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say yes again. And I think it's gonna be at the Xbox thing.
Okay.
Again, I think Xbox gonna go hard.
My answer is no.
Okay.
Put away your phone. No.
All right. Another Brad question. Will we finally see something related to Final Fantasy Tactics?
No. God, I wish I could say yes more. I've
In
been saying
June?
no to everything.
In June?
Where would that even show up, you think?
I mean, it could be Summer Games Fest. It could be at a Square Enix event. I mean, it could be anywhere.
I feel like I have to say yes on this one.
Do we think Square Enix is going to do an event? Have they said anything about an event?
They have not yet.
Stuff. Square Enix?
Yeah,
they do not have anything scheduled yet.
I feel like they would have announced an event and they just canceled projects, posted all these lawsuits.
And Persuade and chat makes a good point. Like they're focused on restructuring right now, I think. So
but that doesn't mean they don't have a trailer ready to go for a fucking event.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I
even if it's true that
yes,
Ogre Battle was the actual game from the Nvidia leak, like still.
Tactics Ogre, and there's
like what's his name? Matsuno was talking about that it was time for.
Matsuno does not work for Square Enix. He says, "Ask Square Enix."
I'm going to stick with my gut instinct, which is no.
I'm going to be hopeful and say yes. Okay.
I know. I feel like I'm being the huge Debbie Downer here because I feel like I've been like 80% no.
Well, do you want to win? Although we don't have prize tied to this, it can't be too significant.
There's no prize. This is all for fun. We're all friends here.
I still want to win.
Okay.
But I'm giving my honest thoughts.
All right. Will we see the remake of Final Fantasy IX?
No.
God, I wish, but no.
I want to say
at this
yes.
Point, at this point, I don't even think it exists anymore. It may have existed at one point, but I don't think it exists anymore.
I think I remember reading something that like it originally was outsourced to a third party and they brought it in house.
Which is
so
more
I think
of a
it does
to say
exist.
no. It's not soon.
Okay. All right. Easy question here. Will we see Hazelight's next game?
Yes. Yeah.
Hazelight being
It Takes
A
Two.
Way Out. It Takes Two. Joseph Ferris.
Summer Game
What was
Fest.
their last game? Their last game was It Takes Two?
It Takes Two, yeah.
I think there will be a tease for it. Yeah.
Okay,
At
that
Summer
counts.
Game Fest because that's a thing.
Or no, it could be the Game Awards. I'll still say no. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna
say yes.
Wow, okay. Feels like that's.
Well, is there what is your answer, Chris Davis?
My answer is yes. I think that this is the time
I'll
for them
say
to
yes.
show new. Okay. Okay. All right.
Are you serious? Is that your final answer,
Yeah,
Brad?
yes. My final
Okay,
answer.
we're all yeses on that.
Okay. Will we see the next Tomb Raider game?
No, fucking.
What do you mean?
Wait, well, Xbox
It's been in
could
development
go
for a while.
They revealed that character art a couple months ago.
Could be. They also said that character art has nothing to do with the next.
Well, when
Raider
you
game.
say are we going to see that, you mean even if they have a short little cinematic teaser, that still counts?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. That counts.
I'm going to say my answer is no.
You're a no.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
he asked the qualifying question and then just still said no. You know, just to be clear too, that little Lara Croft redesign thing that they put out, they were very clear when they put it out that has nothing to do with their Tomb Raider project that's currently in development.
Okay.
Just saying.
So you're a no.
I'm a no. But no.
Okay.
But again, Xbox really needs to win people over, so I could see them.
They do.
You know, I'm gonna go yes. And
Okay.
it's gonna be
All
Xbox.
right.
It's gonna be
Okay.
Xbox.
All right. Here's a good question. Will we see IO Interactive's James Bond game?
No.
Really?
No.
No.
Maybe
Wow.
a tease, right?
But
I
tease would still
think
count,
we see
but no.
something. Even if
My
it's a
answer's no.
cinematic thing, like it's been 4 years since Hitman 3. Like, and that's when they
That
announced
can't be
this.
true.
So like I feel
It has
like
not been
it's
4 years.
it's time.
Hitman 3
2020?
came out in 2020?
Yeah.
No. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did actually.
You're actually lying to me.
Okay. All right. Another subjective question here. Will Nick
2021 liars.
what win in 2021? Sorry.
I think it was January.
What does that have to do with anything? You were the wrong
I think
year,
it was.
buddy.
I think it was January, or maybe it was.
Okay,
maybe it
fine.
was December.
Whatever. 3 years. Like they could be 2 years out. They could reveal a trailer.
Closer to 3 years than 4. Just saying.
Whatever. Anyway, next question. Will Nick lose his shit over an indie horror game?
January
Yes, of course.
20th,
Jesus
2021.
Christ.
Wait,
Of
wait,
course he
wait,
will.
wait. That. Yeah, of course. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
If there's
all right.
any indie horror games present, if they show Luto again, I'll lose my mind.
Okay.
I'm very
all right.
excited for
That
Luto.
one sucks. I think
Oh,
the one
fuck off.
that
Luto
can
looks great.
no, it doesn't. I think the one that looks good is the Chinese room one, right? Like if they show that, when does that come out?
Wait, the Chinese room one. Still
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 Wakes the Deep?
Deep.
That's
That's pretty soon.
That's
Yeah, then that
literally
means
this
it'll
month.
definitely be at one of these fucking PC gaming indie
Yeah, yeah.
showcases.
Sure,
That's
I'm already excited about that. But I think
Okay.
Luto's. Yeah, I'm hyped for Luto. That's where.
Okay.
That's
3
my
yeses
focus.
across the board. All right. 3 more for Summer Games Fest / general announcements. Will we see a release date for Delta Rune?
I don't even know what that is. Oh, I was like, okay. I don't even know if I'm qualified to answer this question. So I'm gonna say
Well, the
no.
answer is 1000% no.
Okay.
Okay.
Chapter
Are you waiting
2
for
came
me?
out 2 years ago, right?
Okay. So drafted, sucker.
Yeah, drafted, bitch. I'm just kidding. If you're so confident.
Okay, so that's a no from you, Nick?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
I need to
coming
play
from actually
Undertale.
knowing-
I'll get to
That's
that
coming
eventually.
from me having zero qualifications to even comment on.
That's coming
that
from me
game.
knowing the answer.
Okay. All right. Second to last for the SGF. Will we see a new Castlevania game?
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
He's got to have
That's
hope in his
crazy.
heart, man. I'm telling you.
You're crazy. You're crazy, but I like it. Okay. I'm gonna go no though.
I
'Cause
think
I'm
Konami is
sane.
willing to wheel and deal and get any kind of Castlevania stuff in there. All right.
Wait, what's
last
your answer?
one.
You're not saying your answers, Chris Davis.
I said yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hopeful. I think they'll do it. Finally, will we finally see Blue Point's next game?
No.
No. It would have been at the state of play.
I want everybody to acknowledge here that if Chris Davis was right across the board and everything that he said was accurate, this would not be an 8 out of 10. Not even close.
I mean, who knows what Blue Point's working on, man?
Nobody does. But
Nobody
I don't think
knows.
we're
I mean,
gonna see
the
it.
rumors are wild out there as to what it could possibly be.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think that's.
I mean,
I think
I think
maybe
I
Game
think
Awards.
best money in the world would be on a Bloodborne remake.
I don't know about that.
mean,
I
that
think
would be the
that
one.
this is a
If-
no. I think Summer Games Fest. I think the Game Awards is the next best opportunity.
I think it's a
Aren't
combination
they
here.
supposed
I think
to be
I think
working on like their own original game or some shit?
that was a rumor. I
don't
think
think it was
Brad
a
is
rumor.
correct. I think Brad is correct that their next remake is going to be Bloodborne, and I think
Yeah, that would
if
actually be stupid
if it was
it's
to
not.
show up somewhere this year, I think it would be at the Game Awards because that's the only explanation for why they haven't released a remaster of Bloodborne on current hardware. Someone's remaking it. They're like, just wait for the remake.
All right. Next, we're going to the Xbox Showcase. We are done with Summer Games Fest / general announcements. And each of these following streams, much shorter lists, 10 to 12. So, Xbox, first question. Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah, I think they've already, I'm pretty sure that we already know.
Let me finish. Doom the Dark Ages, will it be melee focused?
Is that really a thing people think?
We're talking about a medieval Doom game.
It's too vague. It's too vague.
Is that a thing people want?
It's too vague. Melee focus. What does that mean? We might not even be able to like draw a definitive conclusion based on what they would show.
I'm talking about like swords and warhammers and the kind of content that they started experimenting with in internal.
You're saying will there be a melee weapon used a lot in a trailer? The answer is yes.
I'm talking about the combat loop.
But to Brad's point is, they may not show a gun in the trailer, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's no guns in the game.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
I think they will show something ranged in the trailer.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'm saying I think they would also show something melee in the trailer. The answer to that would be yes, of course. Do y'all really think we're gonna see that? Like,
I think they've pretty much confirmed it at this point, haven't they?
No.
It's basically been it's all but confirmed to be there.
No. The project existing in this form has been confirmed, but I have not seen any talk that we're gonna be seeing it. You know,
I could have
this
sworn
weekend.
I saw something about them showing it at Xbox's thing, but
show me that leak.
I don't know. Look, if you want to ask it to move things along, I'm gonna go with yes because that's where my heart already is. Is that we're gonna see it and it's gonna be. I'm not willing to say it's gonna be all melee weapons, but it's gonna be a trailer with a lot of melee weapons in it.
Is this a double point question, or if my answer is no, do I get points if it's not there or if it's not melee focused?
If it's not there, then you get a point. If it's melee focused, you do not get a point.
Okay.
For the love of Christ.
I'm gonna go with no because I think that's the safer bet. Because if it's not there or if it's not melee focused or whatever, that means then I get the point.
Yes.
Okay.
So for you to get the point, yes, you have to get 2 parts. Right?
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. But I think it's gonna be there. So, okay.
Then I'm gonna go no because that's slam poker here.
All right. Okay.
That's
all right.
slam poker.
All right. Will we see Gear 6?
No.
God,
really?
I hope not.
I think that's a solid yes.
Okay, well,
like for all my Xbox stuff, in my opinion,
there's rumors.
I'm coming from the perspective of this is a year for the brand to do damage control, so they have to show off nothing but hot shit.
I just feel like Gears has Gears even been hot shit in like a long time? I mean, I don't know. Maybe
6 was really well received, man.
I mean, I played.
I'm sorry, Gears what?
I played Gears 5, and it was fine.
Gears 5?
Yeah, Gears 5
was well received. Look, no one's truly cared about Gears since 3, dude. Let's be real.
Well, you need to play Gears Tactics, by the way, Brad. That game's pretty good.
I didn't say any of those games were bad. I just said Gears has not been on top since 3.
Okay, moving on. Next question: do we see the next Halo?
No.
I don't. Yeah, that whole franchise is in such a disarray right now.
Halo related.
I think Halo is gonna be dormant for a while.
Yeah,
I think
I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but most of my reasoning here is just that these things are bad and disappointing. These showcases, and we're not going to get the stuff we want, except Castlevania and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
And Dreadwolf. Dreadwolf's going to be
fucking course. I'm trying to be practical about this shit.
I think we're gonna see like a very quick tease of a Halo project. I don't know necessarily whether it's
But is that the question?
Halo 7. Yeah, the next Halo game.
All right, that's your
The
answer.
answer is no.
I'm saying
Next.
yes. Okay. Next. Okay. Will we see Microsoft announce an Xbox branded handheld?
No.
God,
There have been
huh?
rumors, man.
No.
Yeah,
No?
I don't think. Here's the thing. Again, they're doing so much damage control right now. I don't think they could ask people to purchase their hardware right now.
I hate to break it to you, Nick, but they're not doing damage control. They're done. They're just too big of a corporation to worry about Tango anymore. They're moving on. So like, I think it's no, but it's not for the reasons you think.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to say yes because their strategy that they've been talking about for the past year is to quote unquote meet gamers where they are in bringing their content to stuff. That means to me like they want to go to every market possible where they can put their games, and the Steam Deck and that handheld market is really hot right now.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but your cat was just twitching.
Oh,
I think
he was.
Like
he does
hardcore.
that when he's really zonked out and dreaming. He does that.
Okay.
I think you're gonna see maybe like some other companies handheld that Microsoft says, hey, Game Pass is gonna be on this bitch. Something like that. Maybe
they could do that, yeah.
Xbox. You're saying like an X Boy, like they're gonna be check out
Yes.
the fucking X Boy. No,
A Microsoft branded Steam Deck, basically. Yeah,
they're not a hardware company. Come on.
I think they could.
I think they're in a rush to get out of the hardware business at this point. All right, let's move on.
Maybe.
Next.
Okay.
Next.
This is rumored.
Got to pick up
Will
the pace
there-
here. We're coming up on an hour.
I know. Will there be a shadow dropped game?
Of course.
Yeah,
100%.
there's almost
Like
always
any
something.
of these things, of course.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
You got to say like, are there going to be 8 shadow drop games? I mean,
Or are they going to shadow drop Silk Song or something like that?
of course, maybe or maybe like specifically to.
But we don't have
Just
time
the
to
SGF.
change this right now.
No, just to the Keeley. Like specifically, do you think the Keeley SGF showcase is going to shadow drop something? You got to narrow it down. Otherwise, the answer is of course.
I'm
yes.
talking about the Xbox showcase. All these questions are for Xbox.
Oh, this is Xbox.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with yes,
I'm saying yes as well, and that ties into
and
one of the
hopefully it's
latest
Silk
things. too.
Song, baby.
Yeah. Okay. All
It's
right.
not-
I know.
Will Xbox acknowledge and address their studio shutdowns?
I think the
Not
bigger
by
question is
name.
Jeff Keighley
Not by
going to
name.
acknowledge the shutdown.
Oh, I don't know if he has the balls on him.
Exactly.
He'll do some generic statement, and I think Xbox will as well. But I
Okay.
mean, they're not going to say anything specific.
Okay. Nick?
It's
I'm
going to
gonna
be
go-
very generic and broad and vague, but like they're going to reference. Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay. I think they're going to do something. It's going to be very light, and it's going to be toothless.
They're going to try
Um,
and spin. They're going to try and spin it somehow.
Most certainly toothless.
Will they announce a strategy of pushing most of their library multi-platform?
Most of their library, or
No,
just
not right now.
I don't think. I think maybe that's where they're eventually going, but I don't think that's ready for.
How many I thought you said Xbox was going to be short.
We're halfway through.
We're only halfway through Xbox. Okay, we got to speed this up.
It's only like, dude, y'all are talking way too much. All right, let's go. All right, so
What do you
that's a
think was
no.
gonna happen? That's a
A
no.
lot of questions. I thought this was like 20 total.
No, let's go. Yes or no?
No.
No,
No what?
no. I'll say
Not going
no, too. I
multi-platform.
don't think they're ready to quite do that. All right. Are we going to see the next game from Double Fine?
No.
No.
Really?
We
Really?
got to go.
I
gotta
say not only do I say yes, I think that's the Shadow Drop. Okay.
That is a wild prediction.
It's a wild
But
prediction, but looking at the timeline, it could be possible.
You know
all
what,
right.
Chris Davis? I hope you win. I hope you win
Lightning
all
round.
the points.
I really hope I do. Perfect Dark. Will we see that?
No, I think
No.
that's in super treble development. I think at this point.
There's contradictory
think
reports
that's-
about that.
Yeah.
And you know how games can be. Like they can come together, A month
But
later.
has it
We're
come
talking
together
too
yet?
much. Go.
I
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't think so.
State of Decay 3.
Nope.
I feel like you got to. Yes, there's something for State of Decay 3.
Okay.
Or they've
All right.
canceled that shit.
They have been really more prolific with their marketing lately for State of Decay 2 and their updates there. I think that's a sign.
Okay.
2 more. Will we finally see gameplay of Fable?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I say yes there. And finally,
We've
will
seen
we
gameplay, by the
see
way.
Hideo Kojima's Overdose?
No.
Is it called Overdose?
Yes,
Yes,
it's called
that's-
Overdose.
The one with,
I'm gonna
with
say yes.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, this is the Jordan
Oh,
Peele project.
the Jordan Peele one. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to say no. I think they're too focused on Death Stranding 2. Okay. Moving on to Ubisoft. Number
Oh my
1.
God, is there a Nintendo block too?
Yes, we can get through this in the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right? Here we go. Ubisoft, will we see more single-player games than games as a service titles?
Ooh.
No, well, define. I mean, Assassin's Creed is games as a service, and technically, right? I mean, they've.
Well,
what
if
does
you're
that mean, though?
we don't.
I think
know
it's going to be
yet.
hard to define.
Oh God, I'm gonna say no. I mean, I think we're gonna see some games as a service shit, but I don't think there's gonna be more of it than single player stuff.
Okay.
Or
All
I
right.
guess more of it than just non games.
I think it's going to be hard to define.
I think
Okay.
Brad's probably right, but I'm gonna go no.
I'm going no. Brad, no.
Okay, yeah, no.
Okay. Okay, easy
yes.
one. Will we see the Splinter Cell remake?
No.
No.
I
Cancel.
hate you both. I'm putting yes. Will we see a new Rabbids game without Mario?
No.
No and no and super no.
Okay. All right. I'll put no
Too
too.
soon.
I
Last
wish.
one didn't sell well.
All right.
We're
Will
done.
we see Beyond Good and Evil 2?
No.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes. My answer
Shut
is
up, Brad.
100% yes.
Okay. All right. I'm putting yes too. I think they've got to say something.
Okay. Jesus. I was
will
saying yes as a joke, but if
Ubisoft-
he's saying
Will Ubisoft have a Marvel game?
no.
No. Was that a rumor?
No, but I think that from my perspective, that ties into Star Wars with them. Like they're willing to go where the money is. I think we'll see
money ain't in
a Marvel
Marvel.
game announcement next year.
There's already okay. There's a lot of other Marvel projects, and I think they made their move with Star Wars.
Will they announce that Skull and Bones is going free to play?
Oh,
It's not free to play.
No, it's not. It's a
That's a thing
premium
people do.
$70 title.
oh
Then yes.
God. Yeah, I'll go with yes on that one.
I
Good
think,
Lord.
yeah, I think they got to do something. Okay.
Holy crap.
Will we see Far Cry 7?
No.
Far Cry 7 rumored to be a formula reboot, more
No.
akin to the classic
Yeah.
entries.
Yeah, I've read the rumors. I don't think that's this year that we're
When
gonna
were
see
those
it.
rumors?
Late last year.
Then
Yeah,
no.
I don't think we're gonna see that this year.
Okay.
Do you remember when we got rumors that Playground Games was working on a Fable game like 7 years ago?
Yeah. And hey, they're making one. Okay.
Yeah, but
Will we see a remake or remaster of Far Cry 2?
No.
no.
We got to go
Okay.
faster.
All right.
I think Ubisoft is gonna be mostly out Star Wars
You
Outlaws.
no longer
and
need to say your
Assassin's
answer,
Creed.
Chris Davis.
Prince, fuck you, Brad.
No, I'm
will we
saying-
see
I'm
the
just saying
remake
for the
of
sake
Prince
of
of Persia: Sands of Time?
No, I think.
No, not yet.
Yeah, that's supposedly not in good shape. And finally, will we see a new IP from Ubisoft?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with no. I think they're gonna be so focused on Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws that there's not gonna be room for much else.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm in that opinion. Okay.
I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm just being real.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, the Nintendo block. The first big question: will we see the Switch 2?
No.
No, we know no.
I think if they're doing a treehouse, they're going to do it. So yeah, absolutely. I'm saying
We know
yes.
there's-
Oh
we
my
know it's
God,
not.
you
We
are
know
shooting
that.
for the stars, Chris Davis.
No,
We
I
know
think
the
it's just time for them to fucking announce it, and they're going to do it. All right.
Okay, well, the
Metroid Prime
president
4.
of Nintendo disagrees.
No.
Yes. Yes. No.
Okay.
Yes.
What? I can't keep track of Brad.
Yes, Metroid Prime 4. I have to say yes on that one.
At this point, we don't
No.
even know if they're doing something, and now we're shooting for a Switch 2 and Metroid
They
Prime
have
4
to.
in the same. I guess those things probably go hand in hand, right? They're probably gonna, if they announce a Switch 2, they're probably gonna show Metroid Prime 4 as like a launch title or something, right?
Yeah,
But if
they gotta have something though.
Yeah, they got to have something. They got to do something. All right. I'm saying yes. Next one. Will we see an expansion or significant update to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom?
No.
Okay. I will say they're going to do a modest update, not what I'm talking about, so no. Will we see the rumored remaster of Zelda Twilight Princess?
No.
Twilight
God,
Princess.
I wish.
What,
God, I
and
wish.
Wind Waker?
They've
No.
it's been in talks like it's been on shelves for years, ready to go.
Chris Davis is gonna say yes to this, isn't he?
I'm gonna say yes for Wind Waker.
Well, I'm doing Twilight Prince. We're talking about Twilight Princess, not Wind Waker.
The rumors are both of them, but
Okay.
whatever. No.
Okay. I'm gonna say yes, just to be safe.
White Burrow
right.
says this is out of control. Chris is just saying yes to everything.
No, I've got plenty of no's. I'm just a real hopeful kind of guy. I have
compared to us.
positivity in my soul. Anyway, will
I've
we
tried
see?
to warn you so hard.
Will we see the remasters of Metroid Prime 2 and 3?
No. No, crazy.
Maybe in some form. Yes.
Those aren't real.
Yes, I think we're gonna get a tease for Prime 4, and we're gonna see these. Yes for both Metroids.
I think we're going to get a tease for Prime 4, and they're going to say, in the meantime, hey, we've got Metroid Prime 2 remaster coming out this year.
today.
All right. I know what your answers are going to be, but are we going to see the Donkey Kong platformer? That's been rumored for a long time.
No.
Didn't think so. I got to have hope in my heart, so I'm going to say yes because I need it for my Fantasy Critic League.
You're not trying to win.
Will we... fuck off, Fred. Will we see Fire Emblem Genealogy The Holy War remake?
I'm gonna say yes on this one.
This has been rumored for a long time.
That feels like something they would. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I'm gonna.
Nick's saying yes because I said yes. Just mark him a
I'm
yes.
following Brad's. I mean, Brad knows. He knows better than I do.
I
on
almost
this
bid
one,
on this, so
Let's go
Okay.
with yes.
Okay, 3 yeses. Will we see a Kid Icarus game?
No.
No? Okay.
Swear to God, Chris Davis, if you say yes.
No, I think that
yeah.
I think that's coming. I don't think they're going to show it yet. Will we see the next project from Monolith Soft?
No.
from who?
Monolith Soft. No.
Developers of Xenoblade Chronicles.
I'm gonna go no because they're taking a break from. Well, will it count if they're like doing a remake of X,
I would count
or-
that, yeah.
a remaster of X even, or a
Yeah.
port? I'm gonna go yes for Monolith Soft.
Okay. I'm going to say yes. I think they want to show off something pretty cool. Finally, last thing for Nintendo. Will we see something related to Earthbound/Mother?
No.
No.
We went through this whole thing, Chris Davis, and I can't believe you didn't mention this in the Xbox section because it's almost certainly happening, but it's not confirmed yet. The Alan Wake 2 DLC is almost certainly happening.
Yeah,
but that's boring. We
that's a
don't care
known
about
quantity.
Alan Wake 2
That's
DLC.
happening. So I wasn't going to add to the list.
Okay.
Boring.
Okay.
What's with Dragon's Dogma? Dragon's Dogma was all over the Jeff Keighley
The
trailer.
The rumor going around from Jeff Grubb is that Dragon Age will be shown, but it's not going to be called Dreadwolf.
No.
It's going to be
No,
renamed.
Dragon's
Dogma. Dragon's
Oh,
Dogma
Dragon's
was
Dogma, I'm sorry.
featured in Keighley's trailer.
I don't know. I think he
Heavily.
just tends to
He
show
says,
stuff
"Oh,
that's
stuff I
recent.
played this year or whatever," but also, I was in there. I don't know. Yeah. So no.
There you go.
Overall,
There you
my
go.
answer is no.
We'll check back in next week to see how each one of us fared.
That's a lot of things you marked on there.
Chris Davis.
Nolan's-
If Chris Davis wins, we all win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of the situation.
Like, I'm trying to be
Almost like Chris
positive.
Davis won't win.
I got to hope.
Nick was a little more negative than me, so I feel like by default,
But like, I don't even feel like I'm
He's
being
gonna-
negative. I just feel like I'm being realistic. I'm still really excited. I just don't think I'm trying to temper my expectations because like, a lot of this stuff sounds too good to be true.
I feel like I should have had you answer first on some of these. I feel like some of my no's were so confident. You piggybacked.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. That's definitely what
Okay.
happened, Brad.
Well, I had a bonus round, but y'all can fill that out when I give y'all the spreadsheet later on.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But
Okay.
that'll be
All
fun
right.
when y'all fill it out.
Are we gonna
Okay.
4-player minute this shit, or what do you think?
I mean, can we do like really fast 4-player minute? There's not even a lot.
Yeah,
Not
no,
even
I could do mine fast, Mike. I could do
all
mine
right,
real fast.
let's just do really fast 4-player minutes. Go.
My 4-player minute is shout out to the announced Yacht Club Games presents for, I believe, June 20th of this
Yes.
month. It's exciting because Mina the Hollower is a game that I'm excited about. I don't think it's going to ship this year, but it was counterpicked, and if it's not at this thing, if there's no date at this thing for 2024, it means I'm safe to super drop. So it's nice that it's coming in right before the end of June, where we have to decide if we're going to super drop or not. They've already said that this is going to be like a special version of Yacht Club Presents. That's about that we want to highlight the 10th anniversary of Shovel Knight or whatever. So I'm already thinking now. They don't do these Yacht Club Presents very often, like pretty rare, once every couple of years maybe. So I think they have to mention something about Mina, and if they don't say anything about Mina, then we know for sure that it's not coming out this year, which is good news. But either way, I still think Mina the Hollower looks so sick, and that's it. And shout out to Patches. I will say we had a quick conversation about Nine Souls. It didn't come up in that conversation where I was asking about, oh, I heard some complaints about the map. You think the developer's going to do anything? And Kenton and Nick were like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Or I didn't have a problem with it. They don't need to patch it or whatever. And it's funny because Kenton finally looked, and I'm like, oh, actually they did patch it yesterday. Cool.
All right. Cool.
Anyways, that's all. That's my 4-player minute.
All right, Chris Davis.
My 4-player minute is really short and sweet. I can't believe they're doing it, but it was announced yesterday that we're getting a Like a Dragon TV show.
Oh,
What?
God.
Yeah. Comes out
I
late
remember
October.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's already coming out?
Yeah, it comes out in
6th
October.
episode.
Is
Yeah.
it like an anime or is it like a
No, it's a live
live
action
action.
show.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Like-
it's called like a Dragon Yakuza, which is hilarious.
That
Yeah.
is kind of hilarious. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't
It's really going to confuse people.
I mean, for people that are Yakuza fans or like Dragon fans, sure, but like the layperson doesn't even know what the hell this is. But yeah, I don't know what to fucking think of this. The only thing I have is that I really hope that the comedic elements are in there.
No way. It's going to be serious as fuck.
I mean, more than likely, yes, but I feel like
you
there's got to be
imagine?
quirks.
Is there a trailer
No.
for this? We have no idea.
There's
mean,
it was announced
No.
in a tweet from Prime Video. It's a back shot of Kiryu with the dragon tattoo.
It's going to be serious.
It's got to be weird though. It's got to be. Like that's the whole thing. You don't
No. You're just showing you how much you don't know about Yakuza, because the main storyline in Yakuza games are always super serious. Like, it's only the side stuff, optional stuff that's goofy. Like, there'll be like maybe some required sub stories where that's tutorializing certain mechanics that are a little silly, but when it comes to the main plot, it's always super serious. Always.
Huh.
Yeah,
wild.
I mean, but hey, on the other side of the coin, there, like, if the writing is as good as the recent writing for the recent Like a Dragon games, especially the man who erases his name, like, fuck, man, this might be a really good show.
Cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think-
Amazon's been doing some cool
Let's-
shit lately with
Yeah.
their TV offerings. So
the Fallout show was good.
Fallout was good. I liked Rings of Power.
Well,
I did.
yeah,
I'm-
but
I
that's
don't-
again that they've done.
But
a
I'm
lot
coming
of
at
things.
that. Yeah, I'm just saying there's also a bunch of other shit that I've watched on Amazon that I really enjoy.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Rings of
so-
Power is just the most expensive thing ever made.
It is. It is
Yeah.
definitely one of the
And-
most expensive looking things ever made.
No, the
Um,
expensive projects, the most expensive things ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
All right. Well, I'm done. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try and not do this every single week. But today was a particularly special day, so I'm going to do it. So today was the first day of principal photography on the prequel series of Dexter, which
Oh
is a
my
big day
God.
for me. I'm very, very excited. But also, I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to say that if you are a fan of the show, I am going to be continuing to contribute on DexterDaily.com throughout the course of filming on this show.
Yeah.
Like I did kind of with the tail end of New Blood. So if you're interested, you can follow along there. But I'm very
Dexter
excited.
Daily, huh? Is it really daily?
It is daily. It is
There's
daily,
something
dude.
to say about Dexter every day.
I mean, not during like between
Oh, okay.
seasons and shit, but like
I
when
wondered.
it's active, like when like the gears are turning, right? Yeah, there's tons. Like there was like 8 posts that went up today. It was insane.
Oh,
Um,
dang. Okay.
but and it's run by one guy, and he came to me and towards the tail end of New Blood's filming, and I've just been kind of involved ever since then. So yeah, I'm gonna be continuing to do stuff there. So if you like the show, that's where you can find my thoughts and stuff. So yeah, very excited about that. And I wish I had some way of connecting that to video games, but I don't. So
You ever
that's
play
it.
that Dexter mobile game?
No, I did not. I did not.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta make that happen.
I did buy the Dexter Clue board game and played that.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I'm,
You need to track down
it's
that board game. I mean that video game. Do something with that video game. It's got to be similar.
probably it's bad. I'm sure it's
I
bad.
know. That's why you got to play it.
God. Maybe I could be convinced. I mean, it's not even that thing. It's not even something I can go buy on Steam, right? It's not like a thing.
No,
on
no,
Steam.
no. But there's got to be ways.
I'll see what I can find out.
That'd be a fun stream, dude.
It's cool. I really enjoyed contributing on this site during New Blood because just lots of stuff that I wouldn't have been privy to otherwise, and that's kind of continuing here. So I'm excited. Exciting times. It's a good time for me. Video games are popping off this week. Dexter's filming. It's what a time to be alive. So, anyways, and guys, we skipped over Fantasy Critic this week because we went over on predictions and stuff. But I can tell you this. There was one pickup last week, and it was for Nolan's list. He picked up Bo Path of the Teal Lotus, which I think was part of the State of Play, right? That happened last week.
Okay, it was part of our trailer talk.
Was that it?
Yep.
So we're okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, Bo Path of the Teal Lotus is now on Nolan's list. That's all we got this week. So maybe we'll have more to talk about.
That's that game that looks like Nine Souls. That looks really cool.
Yeah. I was looking at it thinking I was watching a new trailer for Nine Souls, and it wasn't. So now he got Nine Souls and Bo, but whatever. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Chris Davis, thank you for putting together the predictions. That was fun.
Gracias.
Yeah.
And we hope Nolan's doing it. Has Nolan checked in? Anyways, guys, 4playernetwork.com is the website. You can find all of our episodes on the site. You can find them on Spotify or whatever podcast platform you prefer. In the meantime, we humbly ask that all of you join us in Discord at discord.gg/4player. Especially this week, it's going to be fun, going to be active, lots of stuff to talk about. So we hope to see you in there. In the meantime, y'all be good to each other, play video games. Good night.
Me.
Bye.